Lost him. Okay, got a read on here. Are we live yet? Hey, we're live. Let me do a hello world in chat. Mute that. Technical difficulties with Juan T's trainer. All Malapi. Did I spell Malapi right? Malapi. Okay, let's see who's there. Fale. Okay, let me go to I gotta go to YouTube real quick and copy the link and all that. So if he comes on,
Fale's back.
Okay, cool. Is it working?
There we go. Yeah, it's where I apologize.
No problem.
Man, thank you. Thank you again for having me on here. I truly appreciate you a lot.
No problem. Great to have you. All right. Juan Toscano's trainer, or one of them. But man, Fale has been a Bay Area foothold, a legend here, basically, pretty much since when, Fale?
Oh man. Man, first off, man, I thank you for your kind words, man. I truly appreciate that.
No problem.
And I say it's probably been, we're going probably on 5 years now. I quit my job probably 4 years ago. So I quit my job about 4 years ago to just pursue this, man. And I truly love it. I'm passionate about it. I enjoy it every single day, and I wouldn't have it any other way.
I see your grind too on your Instagram all the time with I mean, you have Juan, but then you also have, you know, some random kid from whatever Bay Area town, you know, so you cover the whole community and you're doing that full time now. So that's amazing. If Rebecca, you got any questions about like Juan while I got to get Reed ready?
Well, yeah, I mean,
Wiggins
I'm sure you're
is ready.
feeling good, as is Juan after getting the contract that he really deserved. I guess going forward, what do you think is the next stepping stone that he needs to like get to? Like, what is the biggest, or what is the next thing that he needs to put in his game that will bring him to the next level?
I think the one thing that I'm pretty sure everyone pretty much says is just the consistency in his jump shot. And that's something that he's worked extremely hard. He's, you know, Juan's a hard worker, man. And my biggest thing with him is just staying consistent and just putting in all the work. And he's worked on his jump shot so much. There's been a ton of hours, you know, the hours that go undocumented that he's put in, and I'm truly proud of him. But I think that's probably the biggest thing. And the one thing I always text him every day is, you know, just to be the superstar you are in your role. Accept your role. And I think that was the biggest thing, is he accepted his role. He knew what he needed to bring to the team and what they needed. And I can't be any more proud of him, man. He's done an amazing job.
You know, I'll say this. I feel like his shot has improved so much. Like, I wish he would have more confidence in his own shot. Like, that arc looks really nice now.
Really good, man. No, he's put in so much time and effort into his craft, man. I'm just thankful to be a part of this journey.
Hey, we got a quick question in the comments here.
Amazing.
Oh, sorry about that. You broke up a little bit. I don't know. Hopefully you can hear me, but there's a quick question in the comments is, what is your ethnicity? Is it Tongan?
I'm Samoan.
Samoan. All right.
So I'm Samoan. I'm proud of my culture, man. I love my people a lot, man. So I represent my culture very much so everywhere I go.
Sweet. Got anything else, Rebecca?
I actually really like this question that's in the chat. Aaron C asked, what's the biggest underrated part of Juan's game?
I would say his unselfishness. Man, this guy is literally one of the most unselfish people that I know. And that goes on and off the court, man. He's super unselfish. He's all about the team. He's willing to do whatever it takes to make the team better, whether that's him being the best teammate on the sideline, him making, the right plays, the right reads, or even defensively. So I think that's his biggest thing is how unselfish he is, man. And I commend him a lot on the man he is.
Yeah, and I mean, we see that also, like you said, off the court. He's a finalist for the Kareem Abdul-Jabbar Social Justice Champion. Obviously, for all the work he did he does a lot of work off the court, but we saw it a lot. Organizing marches in Oakland last summer.
Yeah.
In the protest of George Floyd's murder. So, I mean, I can definitely see that. And I think that's why we were saying he needs to be a little more confident in that jump shot because he is so unselfish.
No, absolutely. I agree completely. I agree.
And you know what? My thoughts are all over the place because I'm trying to get Wiggins as trainer on like in 2 minutes. But I've heard now twice Steve Kerr not necessarily mentioning Juan in the same sentence, but the next sentence he'll say like Andre Iguodala having the ability to distribute the ball and getting everybody else involved. So not quite the same sentence, but close enough for me. Has Juan heard that yet? And how does he feel about that? How do you feel about that? Iguodala, man. That's a hell of a compliment.
To even be, mentioned in the name of Iguodala in that caliber, that's amazing. And Juan, I'm pretty sure has heard that as well as, the mini Draymond version for that second unit. For him, I think he's just excited and thankful to be a part of this whole thing. And I'm extremely excited for him, man. He's a very hard worker. He deserves all the credit that's been happening to him, and he puts in a lot of time into his craft. So it's been a lot of hours that he's put in.
Sure. All right. Any other questions, Rebecca? We're going to have Reed on here in a few seconds, so that should be exciting. Fale, you get to meet Reed OC. I don't know if you've met him before. Out of Minneapolis.
I don't think I have. But I think social media wise for sure.
Cool.
Great guy. I love his work, man. I love his work.
Rebecca, you got anything else?
No, I think I'm good. Fale, thank you so much for being with us. I'm excited to see what level Juan goes to next.
No, I think he's ready to take another big step, man, and I'm truly excited for him. And thank you guys for having me on here. I apologize for, earlier I was having some technical difficulties, but truly grateful to be a part of this. And thank you guys for even having me on here or even mentioning me with all the great trainers that are on here. So I'm truly appreciative of you guys for sure.
Yeah.
Don't apologize about technical difficulties. Welcome to 2020 and 2021.
That's like a thing you and Juan have in common is like you're so humble and just so gracious all the time. It's insane. I love it.
Now I commend for Juan, I commend his family for sure. He has a great family. His mother is amazing. His sister, his brother, they are a great family. So I understand completely why he is the man that he is. So, man, I commend him so much.
Hey, we got Reed OC on board. I wanted to have you guys overlap so that you could at least meet each other. So Reed, this is Fale Malapai. My bad. Fale Malapai. And Reed.
Oh, good. Man, Reed, I love your work. I appreciate you being on here as well, man. It's amazing to see you here. And one day I can't wait to meet you, man. I'm a huge fan of your work and what you stand for.
Hey, awesome, man. I appreciate it. It's awesome to get connected with you guys on here and obviously working with these guys for the same goal to have a successful NBA season. So it's great to be connected with people that have the same interests. So this is awesome.
Cool. All right. Fale, we'll let you go now. Hope you can come back some other time as well as the season approaches. It's going to be really exciting.
Absolutely, man. And I'm excited for the season for sure. I'm wishing you guys the best as well. I pray you guys are all safe, healthy, and much love to you guys and your families as well, man. Appreciate it again.
All right.
Thank you.
Fale Malapai, everybody. What's your Instagram again, Fale?
CUFTR training. So it came up from the roots training.
Came up from the roots.
Yeah.
That's it. CUFTR training. All one word. Cool. All right, Fale.
Man, appreciate you guys a lot. You guys take care. Have a good one. Thank you.
Hey, Fale, one more thing is what picks do you think we'll get tonight?
Man, you know what? I'm gonna leave that in the hands of them, man. I they're doing something, so whatever they go with, I'm excited for them. Right now, I'm just, man, I'm excited to just be a fan, so I'm excited, man. I think they're gonna be great, whatever they decide to get.
All right, thanks, man. Take care.
All right, you as well. Appreciate it.
All right, Reed, OC. Spelled like or pronounced like the county.
OC, baby, Orange County.
All right. How's the weather over there in Minneapolis and all that?
Good. It's been great. I'm actually up in northern Minnesota. I'm running some camps this week, but it has been fascinating. I think Sunday was the first day of summer, and the grass in my front yard looks a little bit more like Arizona. It's been about 100 degrees, killing everything. I actually have one of my trainers. She was in Miami, and I think it was like 13 or 14 degrees hotter in Minnesota than Miami. So it's been a doozy to be in these gyms. It's been a doozy to be in these gyms.
Well, as someone that is in Miami, I can attest to it being still very hot. The thing here is it's not as much the heat, it's the humidity.
Yep. Absolutely.
So
Wiggs is in Minneapolis, right? Wiggs is in Minneapolis?
So he was in Minneapolis. He's now in Tampa.
Okay.
Yeah, he's now in Tampa with training camp for Canada's national team. And so, he's down there right now. And then I think that they're actually heading to British Columbia, I think, after their training camp. So he just got down there, I think, this week. We're ready to rock and roll. He was back for about a week, 10 days.
Yeah, that should actually be a loaded roster for Canada this year. Definitely more than they've had in the past. I'm surprised though. RJ's not playing, is he?
I just actually looked at. I looked at a thing that was announced, I think, yesterday. RJ and Andrew are kind of the two big name guys. I know that they floated around like Tristan Thompson, Kelly Olynyk, but I didn't see them on there. But
playing.
Yeah, Nikhil Walker, Alexander, I think is listed. I think they could. They have the potential to put together a really nice team.
Yeah, I want to talk to first off, for anyone that's watching and doesn't know, Reed is Andrew Wiggins' trainer. And how long have you worked with him?
Worked with him last summer, and then just kind of, obviously he's not stationed in Minneapolis. He's got a couple other guys like Chris Johnson that he works with, but I'm kind of his guy in the Midwest when he comes back. So this was year number 2.
Now, I want to ask you about I talk about this all the time on our live streams because it's literally one of my favorite moves in basketball. And I think Wiggins has one of the best ones in the league, and that is the Euro step.
Yeah.
Such an underrated move. And, I obviously, being in Miami, I grew up watching a lot of Heat basketball. And D Wade was always a master of the Euro too. So I have just a great appreciation for it. Has that just, do you focus on working on that a lot? Or is that just kind of something that when he started working with you, came in with?
Yeah, I think that's the Euro step is one of those moves that I think is going to totally be based on feel. And Andrew has a great feel for the game. One of the things that's a little bit different with Andrew, as you know, in comparison to someone like Dwayne Wade, is Andrew is quite a bit longer, like wingspan wise. And so, you know, a guy like Manu Ginobili was somebody that really that made the Euro step. He brought it mainstream to the United States. And a guy like Andrew, one thing that's super impressive with him is that he doesn't have to be necessarily super explosive, which he obviously is very explosive, but his ability to sidestep and then use his length to finish over defenders is something that's really special. And obviously he's super talented at that, but his ability to we call it getting skinny. If you're thinking like elevator doors shutting, if you're
right, because you want to avoid any kind of blocking foul.
Yeah, and so he's really good at shifting his body. Yeah, shifting his body to avoid that contact, but then also extending the basketball away. He's super talented at that.
Well, you don't see a lot of kind of players of his stature running the Euro step. I mean, you see Giannis doing it a little bit. But I mean, there's a lot of guys you don't really see it pull out a lot. Now, my other question is, so unfortunately, as the all defensive teams came out and he was left off of them, which I think anyone that has really watched all Warriors games this year understands. I mean, Wiggins Island is a thing. I mean, it truly is a thing. So when you work on defense with a player, what is like the best way of teaching, you know, some of those moves, the ability to stay lateral, and like what has been, I guess, the main thing that's really helped improve his defense over the past year or so?
Well, I think one of the ways that we actually, work on defense is via offense. So for example, if you're a really skilled offensive player, to be able to effectively attack a defender, you need to understand where they're vulnerable. So we're always talking about attacking a high foot or closest hip, because if we can get to your foot, we know that we can drive past you. So in turn, when you get really good at understanding that offensively, I think that carries over to the defensive end of the floor, where you really know, hey, this is, if I get put in this situation, I'm vulnerable. And so we want to avoid doing that. I use the analogy, you know, high school and college teams, if they're playing a full court zone press, they would say, keep the basketball out of the middle. So if you're on offense, you'd say, well, let's get the basketball to the middle, because we understand that's where they're vulnerable. And so I think Andrew has done a really good job of understanding offensively how to beat defenders and how to attack them, and then has actually carried that over to his defensive game, understanding, hey, this is how I'm effective against others. I got to make sure that I don't put myself in that situation, you know, defensively. And then also, I mean, he has a great wingspan and has a tremendous feel for the game, understanding how to use that length to give him some cushion.
And have you talked to Andrew yet? Just sort of like mentally speaking, like how did he feel after this year?
I know he's super excited. He's a guy that comes in and, you know, I think we've talked about it in the past on here. He comes in and we're talking about families like that. Like I have 3-month-old twin boys. The first thing that he comes in and he's like, hey man, how are the boys? And I'm like, hey, you know, how are your girls doing? How's your girlfriend? All that kind of stuff. And so, you know, after we get done talking about that, we're just like, hey, how's the season going? And I could tell that he was in a good place mentally. You know, he's just happy, he's excited. And he just said, man, you know, really excited. Obviously getting Klay back. I mean, I think on paper, you look at the roster that they have, not even talking draft picks or anything like that. I mean, they have when healthy, they have a championship roster.
Well, Wiggins
right
hasn't
now
played with Klay before.
Yeah.
They haven't played together. And I think,
I
mean, we saw at the beginning of the season, like it took Wiggins and Steph a little bit to get to, you know, feel each other out, build that chemistry. And so the beginning of next season, or as whenever kind of Klay is brought back into the mix, there is going to be another learning curve there, because, you know, Wiggins will most logically go from the number 2 option to most likely the number 3, which in a lot of ways is kind of good, because that means the top defenders aren't going to be quite as much on him. So
Yeah.
he'll really get a chance to shine even more. So I mean, I'm excited to see kind of, I mean, just thinking about it, those four, or like, I mean, of like looking at Klay, Steph, Wiggins, and Draymond.
Yep.
And whoever you plug in, whether it's Oubre if he's kept, Wiseman, Looney. I mean, that's a championship team. That's a championship core.
Yep. I think too, as you talk about that, you know, Andrew, one of the things that he was really excited about last summer was just what you talked about, playing with Steph and playing with Klay. But one of the things that he mentioned to me as we were talking about the great year that Steph had is he talked about how he really embraced the role as the number one scorer with that second unit. And so understanding that like Steph is the guy, and then when that second unit comes in, like the Spurs used to bring Ginobili off the bench to give that extra punch. And so while I do agree with you having Steph and Klay and then Wiggins, what's really cool is once you transition to that second unit, I don't necessarily like Wiggins and Klay get to play together and be super aggressive. So I think that you're still going to see some really good stuff that way from Wiggins with that second unit.
Yeah, you're right. We did see that a lot this year because originally Kerr started with Oubre leading that second unit and then adjusted the rotation to make it Wiggins. And I felt like that kind of gave Oubre and Wiggins more of an opportunity to thrive. And one other question I have for you, I mean, Wiggins had a career year in shooting. I mean, what area do you think, like, you know, is like the biggest mark that has to be improved still? I mean, obviously guys talk about shooting, because we know how important the 3-point shot is, and Wiggins fadeaway, his mid-range. So what is the next step for Wiggins to bring him to that next level?
No, I think it's just consistency. You know, it's very difficult in the NBA to shoot the basketball at a high level year after year. I think Warriors fans are actually spoiled and have no idea what reality is because Steph and Klay just do it year after year after year.
Well, modern Warriors fans, if you go before 2010, there's another look at it.
Yeah, no, but I think honestly for him, he's coming into, you know, kind of figuring out what his role is. I know that we talked about like in Minnesota, he really loved playing in the mid post back to the basket. And then we talked about some of the adjustments that teams made defending him in the ball screen and in drop coverage. And I think that they're going to continue to play that way because they don't want him to get to the rim. He's super dynamic going to the rim. And so his ability to play in that 15 to 19 foot area in space, I think is going to be super important. And I'm actually really excited to see, you know, Klay works so well off of the ball and cutting and moving with that second unit. I think Klay can score 60, being the second guy, right? And
what,
you know,
11 dribbles?
I know, right? Curry can come out, and then Wiggins can be kind of that slasher. And I'm really excited to see him play. And, you know, obviously Jordan Poole and those guys shoot the heck out of the basketball too, but to be in a situation with Wiggins has shooters and understanding how to play in space and distributing the basketball, I think he has the opportunity to have another really good year next year.
And speaking of Klay, we have Klay's trainer, Charlie Torres, right here in the bottom box for everybody. Reed, OC, I don't know if you've met Charlie before, but here you go. Charlie Reed.
Hey, Charlie, great to get connected with you.
Nice to meet you guys. Nice to meet you.
Oh, we got a little technical difficulties over there.
Is my Wi-Fi going in and out?
Yeah, it's your video is a little bit choppy, but we can hear you though.
Okay.
Cool. Any other things, Rebecca?
No, I mean, I think that's it on the Wiggins end. I'm excited to see him. I mean, I'm just excited to see this team in action next year. It's gonna be special to watch.
Yep.
Cool.
No,
Well,
me too.
thanks.
Really excited.
Thank you so much for your time, Reed.
Yep.
It's just we oughta plug your I noticed there's like 3 Instagram accounts that you're associated with now. You got your own, which is Coach OC COACHOUSE. You've got Jinglert, who's your multimedia guy, your videographer, right?
Yeah, he's come in the gym and doing some really good stuff. If you've seen any of his stuff with Andrew, Josh he's super talented. Josh
Inglert right there. And people can just click around on your Instagram to find him. But then there's also this guy, Ryan, has been recording Wiggins doing some moves and stuff.
Yep. Ryan plays overseas. He's a Division II All-American, scored about 2,600 points. He works for me and does a great job. So he's been in the gym helping with Wiggs as well.
All right, cool. Charlie, you good to go? How's
I think so.
All right, cool. All right,
Thank you very much, Reed. It was a pleasure getting to talk to you and ask you some questions.
Yeah, well, thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
All right, take care. We'll see you soon. All right, Charlie. I keep an eye here. I got TNT in the background here.
I got it right behind me. So
yeah. This is a big lottery. we got 2 ping pong balls in there. That's pretty exciting. But Charlie, are you as excited about you got to be. I mean, just the stuff that Reed was covering, like, man, even our second team is going to be pretty loaded with weapons.
Yeah, I think that's the interesting part, because, you like looking at it, I heard him talking about the second unit, and, it's, Wiggins, I know he likes to play back to the basket and do that isolation stuff, which was, in the past, Sean Livingston.
Yep.
He would play a lot of that to the basket role, a few years back and really, just shoot over the top of people. Excuse me. And Wiggins is better, a little bit better than Sean like that. He's not the passer, obviously. That Wiggins could be off the bounce and things like that, but he can definitely score that thing in the mid post. So, I think the only people that would look at the rim out of the post in those years was like, KD, sometimes Klay when he'd get a cross switch, and then Wiggins. So anyone else that posted, they just look to find the split action and get it back out to a shooter. They wouldn't even look at the rim. So I was just kind of thinking about it in my head. I was like, oh, dang, that'd be a good fit, actually, like with that second unit and having Wiggins and Klay and some of those other guys kind of play split action. It'd be pretty cool.
Yeah.
Well, especially if you have Klay moving off ball as Wiggins is posting up.
Exactly.
Especially, because Wiggins is pretty good in the paint and in the post, so he's going to get a good amount of attention on him. Bring in Klay to run the perimeter, and you run into problems. Add in, of course, Jordan Poole, whatever center they have playing in there, JTA, all of those guys. That's going to be scary. So I want to talk, obviously.
There's a lot they can do with that.
About Klay, we saw on his Instagram today, posting shooting around a little bit in the arena. Of course, we've had Captain Klay lately, kayaking Klay. All this stuff. How are you feeling about his return? I don't know what you can tell us, but like, is his trajectory still on track and all of that?
Yeah, I think everything's pretty much on track. I was actually surprised. I think it was the middle of last week or maybe the end of last week. He was telling me he was like jogging around, and I was like, really? Like that seemed like it was pretty early to me, But even like last year, he had actually the night we kind of figured what had happened to his Achilles. He was really bummed. And then, I told him that night, I said, dude, remember, 6 weeks. It was 6 weeks before that, I would say, somewhere around that. I had Klay and Kevin Durant in the gym, so they were working out together.
Whoa!
And
Cool.
I couldn't say anything about that back then, but KD looked really good. Obviously, I mean, you saw how good he was this year, but it was one of those things where, Klay was feeling, the lowest he could feel, coming off his Achilles. And, I felt, my heart dropped, for the guy, and, all the work he put in a lot of work. He was looking amazing. And I said, dude, this isn't, the 1990s, this isn't, you're not done. Like, look at how good Kevin looked, look at how
And
good,
Kobe
if you do this right, and you're, and Kobe, and that's the other thing I told him too. I said, dude, like, Kobe came back, he was like mid-30s when he tore his Achilles. You're still in your early 30s, you still got time, and like, you have this amazing technology around you, and all these pieces you can have around you, just like Kobe did, and just like Kevin did. So that was, it kind of put him in a good spot mentally. And that's, it's tough. It's tough going through that. Back-to-back years. It wasn't easy on me, and I'm the guy in the gym with him.
Well,
So.
I guess that's one area where it is kind of good that he's, the second option and almost moving off ball a lot, because he doesn't have to worry about the ball handling aspect quite as much. And, he doesn't have to be, on every single play.
Yeah. The only thing with that is, he's probably is one of the more versatile guard defenders in the league.
Yeah.
So that's the part where, he's got to really be on it, on his P's and Q's with just his body and taking care of himself, and eating right, sleeping right. You're not what do they say, a spring chicken, so you gotta do your due diligence and take care of yourself, and sleep and do all that thing, all those kind of things. But he's way more mature than he ever was. So I think it's gonna be good. This is like, the other half of his career, that we have to look forward to. So, you draft some of these younger guys, and you get some of them to, get mentored and taught some of the things by him. And it's pretty cool, like him, showing some of these younger guys the ropes and how to defend and do all that, because, he's going to be playing some spot situational, minutes defensively, I would say. He's not going to be guarding, John Morant the whole game like he would have, a year or two prior. So.
Yeah, and I think, that was kind of a day where the whole basketball world went kind of silent, because, Klay is one of those guys that, no matter how much people have hated the Warriors and stuff, Klay is one of the most genuine, likable guys in the league. So,
Yeah.
You have people that aren't Warriors fans excited for him to come back. And
For sure.
I mean, I know I'm what's the word? I guess excited, super excited to have him back coming up. And just, it was great when he would start to come to games and be on the sideline, seeing his presence out there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to think of any other questions. Does anyone in the chat have any questions?
Oh yeah, well the whole who does he guard off the bat came up, and I think it's safe to say, well, first of all, in the exit interviews, Bob Myers told all the reporters, he told us that they're aiming for Klay to be 100% by March. So that's, whatever that means on opening day is whatever that means, but 100% by March is kind of like the target. And so I just responded in the comments. I just said, well, I guess, you should figure on Wiggins probably guarding the best player up at least until March, and then we'll see about the matchups.
Yeah.
Right. So I think the more we can spread that word out there that the goal of the Warriors is to get Klay to 100% by March, so that there's not all this false expectations right off the bat for him.
Yeah, I mean, you got a lot of guys that can do it. I mean, Kelly's a very versatile defender.
Oh yeah, we got to talk about Kelly.
Yeah, so I mean, I think about that all the time. I mean,
Oops.
Kelly was he was always one of those dudes. He, with Washington and, when he was with Phoenix, he just wanted to guard. He wanted to compete. He wanted to get under people's skin. Which was kind of his niche, So,
Oops.
I mean, that's what made him such a priority of especially after, when Klay went down, for the Warriors to acquire him. So that'll be interesting,
Yeah, with Oubre, how often do you talk to Kelly?
I haven't actually talked to him. He's kind of been ghosted for a while now.
Okay.
I used to see him quite a bit and talk to him quite a bit when he was with Phoenix. This year was a little more ghost. So yeah,
Well, he's got a newborn coming, so
exactly, yeah. He's had a lot of different changes going on, but still Kelly's a special talent, man. I mean, I was glad to see him kind of get make some shots after that rough start.
right.
So he really pretty good to see.
Turned it on and got a lot better, and he was a little bit also had to get used to the offense and kind of where
100%.
to be.
100%.
Because working with Steph, I mean, there's really no one else like him. I mean, easily. I mean, no one else like him. So you got to learn to work with him.
For sure. And he was in tough spots, before that, like, teams that weren't used to winning, didn't have a culture really. And they just had like isolation guys, D-Book didn't really start moving the ball until this year. Brad Beal didn't really move the ball. And like until he got, this year. So with Kelly, it was just like, kind of like cut and find your way. And it was just a little bit different, having the ball pop a little bit more with especially, trying to find Klay early in transition. Like or not Klay, Steph. You got to, if Steph's running, man, you got to keep your eyes up and you got to try and find that guy.
You're thinking into existence with Klay.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
That's what my mom always tells me, that you have to think it into existence.
For sure. Moms are always on the right track.
See that.
Yeah, for sure.
What picks do you think we're gonna land tonight?
Oh man, I hope Scotty Barnes. Hope that ends up.
Ooh. Yeah.
Sheesh.
Man, that guy is 6'9" with a 7+ wingspan. The only concern is the shooting. I get that, but I mean, he wouldn't be a bad guy to sort of like envision as the heir apparent to Draymond. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean he's talented,
insane.
man. Big high motor guy, crazy length and athleticism. I mean you end up having like, some of those young pieces around, some veteran guys like, Steph, Klay, Dre, and some other guys that are coming up like Wiggins and Kelly. But you have, Wiseman and a guy like Scotty Barnes. Sheesh. That's some elite length and athleticism right there. So I'm a huge Scotty Barnes fan, so I hope the Warriors end up getting that going.
Let's keep talking about Scotty then. How did you become a Scotty Barnes fan?
Well, I worked with a kid that went to Montverde, which was the school him and Cade Cunningham went to, and he was just telling me how tough the kid was. This was probably like a year and a half ago, and I just started doing my own research and I started watching play, and then watching him with in the ACC. I ended up working with
what's going on?
Hang tight, Festus. Festus Ezeli.
Yeah,
What's up, fellas?
We're here with Charlie Torres, Clay's trainer, is on. And
What's up, Charlie?
What's going on, man? My boy Hinkle says hi.
Who's this?
Charles Hinkle.
Oh yeah, my guy Hinkle Hoops. Yeah.
That's my man.
Oh, that's what's up, man. What's going
Yeah.
on, everybody?
Just doing it, man.
Oh,
Hanging out.
I got a surprise for you, Festus, but hang tight. We're trying to get Mo as well, but man.
I just got out of practice for the Nigerian national team.
Yeah.
And
All
I'm
right.
exhausted. So I got a few minutes before I got to cut up, man.
Okay.
Yeah.
Charlie, thanks,
I
man.
was the draft lottery, by the way.
It's just
we're still
about
waiting.
to start, actually.
We're still waiting. So if they get the first and fourth picks, then we can say that you're the lucky charm, Festus. But
We got
Charlie,
number 14.
what's that?
We got number 14.
We did? That's official?
14.
Yeah, but it's official.
Yeah.
Well, that didn't. Obviously, if it was another team, then we'd be like jumping out of the chair, you know. But
I must be lagging.
yeah, Charlie, you're welcome to stay on as well, because I don't see Mo Speights anywhere. But he should be
Gotcha.
on soon.
I can hang out for a little bit.
Yeah. So yeah, we're 14th. Indiana got 13th. Spurs just got 12th. Hey, Festus, tell us more about the Nigerian team. Like, is it still tryouts, or you're on the team of 12, or what's going on with that?
Still.
And then Mike Brown.
Yeah, Coach Mike Brown is the coach of the team, which is cool. We're here actually at the Warriors practice facility in Oakland, which is where I used to practice. It's pretty dope, man. It's good to be back here. A lot of memories here.
Yeah.
Rolling with Mike Brown and a lot of the guys who were on staff when I was there too. So it's like, you know, it's like very nostalgic, to say the least, you know. But yeah, no, we're 35 guys right now. Next week, NBA guys show up, and it's still tryouts. We're going through the process, and been out for a little while, so I'm getting into a groove of things again.
Guys, we just
What's
got
up? You got some good
seventh.
news? 7th pick.
Oh,
That's the last time you got the 7th pick. A couple of years later, you won a championship. So I'm just saying.
yes, sir. I mean,
What was the last 7th pick you had? You guys remember?
Steph Curry.
Dude, that's
no. That was not the last 7th pick you had.
It was your boy.
Harrison Barnes.
The Black Falcon.
The Black Falcon. How often you talk to the Black Falcon, Festus?
I just saw him last week before. I see my guys pretty often. Try to talk to him as much as I can. Buckets Worth. Where you at? You in LA?
Yeah, I'm in Orange County. I'm in Irvine.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm in Encino, so we are a world apart. It feels.
Oh yeah,
like.
For sure. I was hitting Hinkle and Mikey Thompson. I wanted to see if you wanted to play on our TBT team.
Oh,
a while back.
You're in that TBT?
No, I don't think you're not playing, right, Fest? You didn't pick it. You didn't end up playing. Yeah. Yeah, we got Derek Williams on it, Mikey Thompson, Clay's brother, Casper Ware.
That's your guy.
Quincy Miller.
Okay.
Oh wow.
Who else do we have? Yeah, we're doing pretty well, so we'll see. Oh man, Ben Wallace.
Yeah. So
Ben Wallace speaking for Detroit.
Next, top 4 picks to be revealed.
Olajuwon for the Rockets.
Hakeem the Dream. Somehow Rudy Gobert has more defensive player of the years than Hakeem.
Hey, Festus, how are you feeling? Festus.
Feel good. I feel pretty good. You know, running up and down the court today was good. A little rusty. You know, made some little fumbles here and there, but I also made some really dope plays that made me feel like, oh, okay, I still got a little game.
Nice.
Nah, it's good to be back, man. It's good to be back on the court.
Are there other guys that we might know that's trying out?
Honestly, I'm still figuring out everybody's names.
Yeah.
But you know, a good story, another comeback story is Emeka Okafor.
Right.
Oh, dang.
You know, and he's here. Actually, I'm looking at him right now, and
Right.
really dope, man. It's dope. It's good to see all the people, you know, coming together for this common cause. And you know, at the end of the day, like, what's the point of this, right? Like, we all want to play for the Nigerian national team, but the idea is we want to support our country. We're proud to have. I'm proud to have this on my chest. You know, I'm Nigerian. I'm also American, but I'm Nigerian first, and you know, that's where I was born. That's where I was raised, and to have the opportunity to do this, I had the last 2 times. Wasn't able to. First time they invited me, I was getting ready for the draft. The second time I had an injury in Portland, was trying to, you know, keep me in house. So this time, you know, it means a lot. It means so much for me personally, because obviously I've been out of the game for a little bit. And so it means that there's just so much that comes with that for me. But on the other hand, also just the ability to represent your country in something like this. I talked to Steph, Draymond, and Klay when they did what Olympics did they do? 16?
Well, Steph actually hasn't done an Olympics.
Maybe it was the World Games. Was it the World Games they did?
They did FIBA.
Yep.
Back in
World Cup.
2014.
7?
And
14.
when they came back from that, they were just talking about how much of a great time they had. They had this bond with all the guys that they played with out there. And, you know, like, it was crazy because I was watching some of the games yesterday, and, you know, Klay didn't even shoot the ball that great, which is like weird. They were like, yo, this guy's actually, they were like trying to convince the world, this guy is actually a pretty good shooter. Talking about Klay Thompson. I'm like, you know, but it's interesting because it's a different game. The ball is different. So I'm trying to get used to that today. And, but yeah, we got a lot of guys here in the facility just trying to, you know, get a little rhythm as we have 35 guys. 35 is a lot. You know, we're playing 5 on 5 on 5 on 5 on 5. You know, it's a little bit of chaos. But at the same time, for me, it's just, I'm soaking it all in, man. It's a blessing to be able to do this.
Yeah, I read an article in the Undefeated. They interviewed Mike Brown, and saying that Nigeria is going to be the only team from Africa representing the whole continent, right? So that's sort of all eyes are on you guys.
Yeah, that's
I did
bigger.
not know that. Yeah, that's a big deal. There's a thing that we wear on the back of this green shirt. It says something like, for Africa to be great, Nigeria has to be great. And it's a quote from Nelson Mandela along those lines, just talking about the resources and how powerful Nigeria is. And it's something that we're all, you know, very cognizant of, the fact that, you know, people are watching, and we want to make sure that we come out there and just play with pride, man, have some fun, and show that we have some talent.
So I had some, we were supposed to get Mo Buckets on here. And he has the Zoom link, and he saw the DM. So I don't know. I hope we can get him on before you have to say goodbye. And your boy Juan, Festus, Ian.
Who's
Ian
that?
Clark.
Oh, Ian's coming on?
He was supposed to, but then he disappeared as well. That was my surprise to you, but he's disappeared a little bit.
Yeah, we gotta go grab dinner as a team now. But honestly, man, I don't really, you know, I always see you guys on Instagram, and I love what you guys are doing. I love the support that you guys continue to show each one of us. You know, we're not warriors anymore, and it's been a few years since we have been. But you continue to show us love. Appreciate the support. The love is mutual. And I also appreciate the support of my project, which is Rebuilding the Beast. And that whole thing is this. I got really curious about comeback stories. It's just like, I went through an injury. It was tough for me. And then for an athlete going through an injury, it's like you look around, it's like, who can I talk to about this? It's not really a lot of resources, not really a lot of stuff, because nobody really understands what it's like to come back from something that a lot of people have never had to deal with. You know, playing professional you're already a minority of a minority, right? It's a very minuscule amount of people that get to play professional sports, but going through an injury when you're trying to come back from that and to go back to playing again, that's, the odds are ridiculous, right? It's not in your favor. And so I got really curious about comeback stories, like the people who get to beat these crazy odds. And so I started a little blog. It's on Instagram. It's a podcast now, but it's a blog about, people's stories, telling people's stories. And I want other people to be inspired, because for me, I felt like I didn't have that voice to somebody tell me that it was going to be all right. Like, yo, you just got to keep fighting. But I fought through, and I felt like telling my story gave other people light, gave them this ability to keep seeing things as, still seeing the light, still staying in the light. And so I started a page on Instagram. It's just it was a passion project, and then it turned into a podcast. And now people are loving it. It's called Rebuilding the Beast. It's a page on Instagram. It's a podcast on Spotify and Apple. And I just talked to different people. Bogut was on there, Steve Kerr was on there, and those are like some of my people. But it's not just about basketball players or celebrities, which I'll have a couple of those, but it's more about the stories. It's more about the people who are defeating these odds. The Warriors, I was a part of rebuilding here. We started off, we were the worst in the NBA, and then we became NBA champions. A lot of people only see the NBA champion. A lot of people only see the wins. But if you, for real, like when you're in the middle of the darkness and you feel like there's no way out, and you feel like, yo, I'm the last person, how do I figure it out? Like, yo, there is a way out. That's a very inspiring story. And you use that in basketball. You use me as an example. I started at 16, and they told me it was too late for me to play basketball. They cut me from the high school team. 6 years later, 7 years later, 6 years later, I'm in the NBA. And it took me through college, where I became a champion in my conference. And it's just like all these things that happen when you don't give up. And to me, I just feel like it's important to tell these stories. And I don't know. Hopefully somebody's listening. Hopefully somebody needs that message. And for me, it's not even about getting any kind of recognition or anything. It's just like, I want other people to have that thing that I didn't have, So.
Yeah, I gotta actually tip my cap to you, because I have actually listened to a couple of your podcasts on Rebuilding the Beast, and it's actually very inspiring. In fact, I pointed a friend of mine to your talk with Victoria Janke.
Yeah, Victoria.
Same type of deal, can't really say too much more, but it's like, it's amazing, like just how much inspiration you can give someone just with your discussion for like an hour with somebody like that. So thank you, man. It's not even amazing. It's not, I won't even take credit for that, because like it's not me, it's the stories, it's the people I get to meet. It's like I've always felt like there's so many thank you for sharing those stories.
Yeah, my pleasure. It's like Victoria's a model. I met her in Germany last year, and we're talking about her story. She was talking about, being a victim of sexual assault, but she was like, oh, I'm not a victim. And she was like, I want to be the person who shows people how to live outside of being that. The person who I just talked to my last episode was Aaron Taylor, and he was supposed to be in prison for 50 years for robbery.
Yep.
And he was in there for 26 years, and goes in a gang member, pistol pop, whatever and comes out a Renaissance man, a guy who's trying to change the world, who's trying to help the young people, to help them get out of their own way. And, you need to hear more of these rehabilitation stories. You need to hear more of these comeback stories. You need to hear more of these people, because I'm tired. Dude, honestly, really what it is I'm tired of social media and the way that we use it. We use it in a way that's like, yo, look at me. Like, look at all these things I have. Which at the end of the day, I understand how that's a thing, right? But think about it this way. Like, if I posted a picture with my red Ferrari and you're like, yo, like, look at me. But if I told you the story behind it, like, yo, like I had nothing growing up, and there's a lot of days where I couldn't, and you get to know my story behind it. And then you see that red Ferrari, man, that inspires you way more than just, hey, look at me, I'm so cool with my red Ferrari. And that's really what I want to do. I want us to be more human, more
100%.
That's very important right now. So I don't know. Thanks for listening to my TED talk.
Nah,
Appreciate
Fest, it's really special because
Man.
I never knew anything about your high school or anything like that until Charles Hinkle told me, until Mikey Thompson told me, and until Klay told me. So like everything that you're saying, I mean, everyone has a story, like, I mean, I was on, the JV team going to my sophomore year. I played, no time, and I ended up playing professionally. College just didn't work out for me. But like your story, everyone just sees your red Ferrari, you winning a championship, you playing with Steph and Klay. Like obviously, you getting hurt and things like that. Like those are things that people end up bringing up. It's like, oh, what happened to him? What's this? What's that? Well, how did he even get here? There's a story about how you even got there. Which is special to go play in the SEC, to win to win over there. Like to do those kinds of things. Like you're 100% spot on. Like I love how you're saying that. I don't really post a lot on Instagram and do things like that because I just feel like I don't know what to post because it all just seems corny to me.
Yeah. So
John, he made it.
What's good? What's good, guys? Sorry, I'm a little behind, man.
yeah.
Got a lot of stuff going on. Fast, what's up, baby?
What's up, dog?
How you doing?
Hey, man, I was holding on for you, man. I was holding on. I was like,
Man,
yo, I got to wait till
thanks,
my
bro.
boy come on before I
Thanks.
get out of here. Where you at?
I appreciate you, man. I'm in Memphis right now.
Oh, okay. Welcome home.
Yeah, yes, sir. Where you at right now?
Where am I?
Okay. You right where you supposed to be.
Yeah,
You right at home, man.
Yeah, we got camp for Nigeria this week.
Oh, that's what's up. Okay.
Yeah, so getting ready for just doing the Olympic campaign. Hooping again, feels good. So
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Welcome back. Glad to have you back, brother.
thanks, bro. I see the Pistons got the #1 pick, y'all.
Yeah, I just saw it.
Yeah,
Cade Cunningham, I guess, right?
Yeah.
Rockets will always come in second.
Yeah. Who got number 2? Rockets.
Rockets.
Who got number 3 and 4?
Let me see.
Rebecca, who got 3 and 4?
Oh, one of them, I think 4 went to Toronto.
Oh,
4 went to
And then I
Toronto.
want to say
Cleveland. Was it Cleveland?
Cleveland.
man.
Yeah,
I'd like-
Toronto went from 7 to 4. So we can thank
Yeah.
Toronto for doing that so we can get Minnesota's pick.
well, I hope somehow we can get in the top 5 somehow, like trade those 2 for a higher one. I don't know. It's a long shot.
I just say leave it to God Myers.
Yeah. Very true.
Rich, Rebecca, Festus, I'm gonna take off. I'll let you guys
Thanks,
do your
Charlie.
thing. Yeah,
Thanks,
no worries.
man.
Man.
It's great talking to you.
Man,
Always, hit me up
likewise, man.
anytime.
I'll connect with you soon.
All right, brother.
Later on.
Yeah.
Guys, I got to run too. I got to go get some dinner. I love my
Yeah.
people. Appreciate y'all having me on, man. Jan, you got it, man. You got the floor.
That's the floor. Thanks, bro. Thanks.
All right, my dog.
We'll
All
rebuild
All right, bro.
that
Be safe.
team.
Good to
Thanks,
see you, man. Be safe.
Festus.
right, y'all.
See ya. Wow.
How
Jan,
you
man.
doing, guys?
What an honor, man.
Thank you for having me, man. Sorry I'm a little late. I've just been ripping and running. Got a lot of things going on being home. So kind of pulled.
No, of course,
pulled a few
we ran a
seconds.
little late too.
Say what?
Wow,
We ran a
man.
little late too, so
Oh, okay.
it works out.
So
Right.
what's next on your plate? Because you played in China, you had a really
Yeah.
good year. We'll talk about that in a sec. But then I heard there was a rumor that the CBA is not going to have import players. So
Yeah.
it kind of puts you in a bind, right?
Yeah, just a little bit. I actually haven't been in like too much contact with everything. Just right now, it's kind of just finished, not like a month and a half ago. But I kind of heard how they were gonna do things. I'm not 100% sure. how they're going to deal with imports coming back. I know they still wanted to have him, but I don't know if you had to be vaccinated and things like that. Because the big thing that a lot of guys, import guys, including myself, had to go through was, man, going over there and being in quarantine. And it was an experience for sure, man. But it was really tough coming right out of that. And I think I probably had it the longest. The worst. I was in quarantine for maybe almost 50 days.
What?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Oh my goodness. I had no idea. Because we were gonna have you on earlier when you were in quarantine, plus they had you moving around. And it was just hard. I was like, oh, he's probably playing right now. But that whole time you were still in quarantine. Oh my
man, I was that whole time that we talked, I was trying to get on. I thought I was gonna be out in time to get on and talk to you guys. But I was in there, man. I just got into it was a dark place for me for a little while, I'm not gonna lie.
Oh my goodness.
But I ended up getting out of it, man, and try my best to kind of finish the season, as strong as I could. Obviously, we didn't do, we had championship aspirations, and I think we have the team to do it. I just think that it was just a lot of things that was, kind of stacked against us at the time. So, I came out of it healthy, got in the rhythm late, but I played a very, very, very short part of the season with my teammates. So, we'll see what happens next year. And that's kind of where I'm at with it right now. So
incredible. So what would be like, oh, you know what I forgot to do? I was going to tag you on a thing recently because somebody asked Steph in a post game. He was like, oh, you're doing all these things in a pregame, and what do you remember about the pregame? And he I got to post this later, even though it's incredibly late. He mentioned you.
Oh, really?
Back in the past, you guys doing the whole, man, what was that? You did like bowling balls, you did
volleyball,
everything. Like we kind of did everything, man. Honestly, it was crazy how that came about, because it was literally just, kind of one day. We just thought, I think we kind of maybe did it in practice a couple of times, but mostly it was really just the games, and it was just like whatever would come to mind. We was just like try it, honestly. Like it was really like on the fly type stuff. So it was fun times. I remember those as well, just like they were yesterday. Honestly, it was fun. I see he still does them now, so it's kind of cool that he's keeping it going on. I liked it.
Oh yeah. Did you see his tunnel shot at Chase got replaced by off the balcony? And the first time he shot it, he made it, which is like not even a surprise anymore.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, that's dope. The tunnel shot was crazy in itself, so glad he found something else.
Yeah. So who you got? Who do you think now for the NBA Finals this year?
Man,
it's crazy.
Man, it's crazy.
What a Final Four.
Exactly, right?
Wow.
It's I felt like whoever won that Brooklyn series was going to be the champion.
Ooh, okay.
Obviously, Brooklyn had the injuries, and that's how I felt before. Obviously, the way that Phoenix is playing right now is, they're just on the roll. They just figured it out. They're playing together. They're playing, unselfishly and everything. But I just think that Milwaukee they're so big. They're way too big for a lot of the teams, I think, that are left. You can make the case that if Kawhi came back, that the Clippers will probably give him a run. But for me right now, I think that Milwaukee's they just got a lot, especially coming off this, beating the team that everybody thought was going to win it, obviously, with Brooklyn. So
yeah, I did right after that Brooklyn Milwaukee finished up, I looked it up. So the Hawks haven't won a championship since 1958, the Bucks since 1971, and the Clippers and Suns have never won a championship. So someone's streak's about to be broken big time.
Exactly. It's a good way. We got a kind of different champion. And I think that, everybody is excited.
Some people are saying the NBA probably doesn't like it because it's a bunch of small market teams.
Yeah.
But I think it's also kind of fun for the fan because for once it wasn't like, obviously until Steph and Klay are healthy, it wasn't like one of the years where you could just kind of predict and one of those big top teams, wins it all or gets to the finals.
Exactly.
Obviously that will change next year,
Yeah, with everybody coming back, it will. What about
one
you guys?
question I have for you is, so
wait, who you got, Rebecca? Who you got?
What?
Who you got?
Who you got?
I got Phoenix.
Phoenix? Wow, okay. That's okay.
I'm a big fan of Devin Booker.
I am too.
I just think his game's truly special. And he's taken a big step this year. And then the other thing with that team is, they're not just, they kind of remind me a little bit of the like strength in numbers Warriors, where the rest of their team has really stepped up this postseason. So, of course you have guys like Jay Crowder and, DeAndre Ayton is showing why he was the number one pick. But then you also have Mikal Bridges, who's really dominating. And his defense is phenomenal. Add in Torrey Craig and his kind of strange looking jump shot and Cam Johnson. And it's just, and of course CP3 once he comes back. So I like the way they play. I do agree that Milwaukee is going to give people size problems because you have
Giannis, yeah.
I mean, who do you put to defend Middleton, Giannis, and Brook Lopez?
Exactly. They don't have a smart. It's kind of hard to kind of to hide someone, with their lineup out there that they have, honestly, because it's just so big.
You know who I'm kind of rooting for, which I was surprised by, and then it'll actually dovetail into a question I have for you, Juan, is I find myself kind of rooting for the Clippers. Why? Because they're doing it as underdogs and you see all these hungry veterans, and actually it kind of reminds me of like you, because they're just these guys, Reggie Jackson, Rondo's won a championship, but PG himself and Morris and all these guys. And aside from like the Terrence Mann suddenly popping off like he did, and then I'm like, man, a guy like you could just fit in to that system as well. Do you ever kind of look at some of these teams and go, man, I could contribute to that team?
I mean, of course, like like just any competitor, like obviously have been playing at that level before, and even at a championship level. Like obviously when you're watching these games, like you as a competitor, you want to prove to yourself that you could still be out there and do those things too, and help a team win, And I agree with you, honestly. Like if it wasn't for the size of Milwaukee, I'm sorry. I feel myself a little bit rooting for the Clippers as well sometimes. Like, man, because it's just, obviously, like I like PG's game. Like, he got a lot of heat last year, but he's proven why he is who he is. And so
I definitely appreciate that part is like, PG ideally is really changing his narrative. I mean, the guy has put up like 30 his past few games. His shooting has been really good. The thing that's going to have to happen there is the other guys on their team are going to have to show up. Because last game against the Suns, Marcus Morris didn't really show up. Reggie Jackson did. He still didn't shoot incredibly well. Patrick Beverly, didn't show up. And then they had a lot of other guys who just weren't really shooting the ball well. So I think if you're going to beat a team like the Suns, you got to have those other guys outside of PG contributing.
Yeah, I agree.
But I'm happy for PG because I'm so used to thinking about I was growing up while he was like in Indiana and thinking about him back then. And then, with Team USA, what he's done. So, that game's about to tip. It'll be an interesting one. But I love Devin Booker. So I just honestly can't root against him at this point.
Yeah.
Although there were 3 teams at the beginning of these playoffs that I was like, I will take any of those 3 teams over the field. I don't want any of those 3 teams to win. And at this point, all of those 3 teams are gone. So I'm very happy about that. So at this point, I'm happy with anybody.
Yeah, I understand. I think that, I agree with you about Phoenix. Like I said, I think they're playing well. And I also think that they're extremely well coached, disciplined. You can tell by how they play. But I think everybody, like you're saying, like I said earlier, those Warriors teams, they're winning by committee. You know, everybody's doing their job. Everybody's doing it well right now. And I think they're only gaining confidence. So it'll be interesting to see if the Clippers can slow them down a little bit.
Yeah.
Ian, speaking of Phoenix, I can sort of connect it a little bit. How often you talk to Barbosa?
I haven't talked to him in a while, actually. It's been a while. I still follow him on Instagram. I check up on him. I see those guys, but I haven't been out. You know, I haven't reached out to some of the guys as much as I usually do over the years. So, but I mean, LB, he's helped me, man, tremendously in my career, man. That first year I was there, he helped me so much. A lot of those guys did, but him in particular, playing the same position and, him just kind of showing me the ropes. And then he got hurt for a stretch, and they kind of plugged me in those minutes. That's kind of really when I got comfortable. And he helped me tremendously, in that area. So
he's the one I believe that has kind of brought back the pregame shenanigans.
Yeah. He gave you a new name, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he started saying it, and I've it's crazy because I've heard it before.
Yeah.
But nobody's consistently called me that, and until LB did, and then once he said it, guys like B Rush, like Brandon Rush, he thought it was hilarious, and I was around him and Draymond the most. And they caught on to it, and the whole team just caught on to it, and it just stuck. I mean, I love it, honestly, but
oh yeah, I love it because that's how Leandro pronounces it. That's but it's pretty much stuck with all the Warriors that you keep in touch with.
Yeah, pretty much.
All right.
Everywhere. and a lot of people in the Bay Area, actually, they'll see me and still call me Juan, so it's kind of cool.
You always have that connection. He's gonna play in the Big Three. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, I saw that.
It's actually a good thing for their opponents that it's half court, because man, as far as I know, like what Steve Kerr said in certain Zoom calls this year, Leandro can still play.
Yeah, he probably, and I bet he's still fast. I don't think he's gonna lose that. He's really quick. We got him in practice sometimes, especially full court. So.
All right. How about KD? You still talk to KD a lot?
Yeah, I check in with him here and there. We've talked not much, just a few laughs here and there, but nothing like tremendously. But I talked to him recently. We got some mutual friends, and he was around some people that I knew maybe like a month and a half ago. And they just hit me with a quick FaceTime, and we kind of just chopped it up and kind of go out there and see him at some point. So,
well, you're forever linked by the check this.
Yeah, definitely.
Iconic.
Definitely, man. It's just, I think there's those vibes and those friendships that you make. Then I don't think their bond is never broken. So it's good that we can just be regular. Some of these guys, we go to weddings and we hang out in the off season. So it's cool to kind of keep that connection with those guys.
Yeah, that's kind of similar. I mean, it brings it back to kind of the finals. And someone in the chat had a really good question. So how does it feel to be? And we're getting towards the NBA finals this year. How does it feel to play in the NBA finals? Like, how is the atmosphere different? When you first get out there, is there a lot of nerves? How did some of those veterans kind of help calm that?
I think obviously the first year was you know, the more, I guess, quote unquote, more nervous. But the atmosphere is crazy. From getting out and seeing all the media, like that's the one thing that you recognize, you know, when you first come out to shooting warm-ups before the games is all of the media that's around. So you got, and everybody that you see on TV, honestly, yeah, all you guys, man, like everybody's doing the camera set up, they're doing interviews while you're warming up. And it's obviously, you know, in a regular season game, you know, nobody's out there at 4:15. So
except for me.
Except for you.
But yeah, and from all different countries as well.
Yeah, exactly. That too. Exactly. So having the media, but just the intensity of, you know, the matchup of your opponent, being able to, you know, dial in for one team, you know, and I think that's the biggest difference, the level of focus that, you know, all of the guys have and how we have one into the practice, our approach. I mean, obviously we're loose because we want to have fun, but at the same time, everybody knows how important each game is, each quarter is, each possession is. And, you know, you don't want to take it for granted because, you know, playing, like I said, I've been blessed to play in 2 back-to-back, but a lot of people don't get to play in the finals. So, you know, you definitely want to take advantage of the opportunity while you're there, you know, especially at this level. So.
Oops. Yeah, so we got a 8-8 tie ball game right now.
Yeah.
Suns.
After being down 6-0.
Mm-hmm.
While we still have you, how much more time you got?
I got about 5. Yeah, about 8:30. I'm gonna give some dinner in a minute. So.
Yeah, appreciate you taking the time. I mean,
man, appreciate you guys.
This is an honor. I mean, for the diehard people of Dub Nation, you know, you're a legend. I mean, you just are. I know you're probably thinking like, nah, I can't be, but you are.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Man, I really appreciate it, man. Like I just, you know, I feel like it's always home when I come out to the Bay Area. And yeah. I mean, I actually will be out there a lot more
okay.
in the future. So I'll be tapping in with you guys, man, soon. But I really appreciate it, man. It was an honor, obviously, to be, you know, playing in Oracle and the fans and just the fan base in general, man. It shows so much love. And like it's never like taken for granted. So I don't know if I ever got to say it to the fans, but you know, this best fans in the NBA. I love you guys, man. So appreciate you guys.
You saying that. Sure. So you have some breaking news for us on that, or what is that?
Oh, not like that. No, I'm not. You know, I'm pretty sure you guys are, if that comes up, you guys will probably know sooner than later. But no, just in general, man. I love being out there. You know, it's just it feels like home, like a second home. So, you know, I love coming out there and just going to I see I have a lot of friends out there. I have, you know, someone I'm really close to that's out there too. So yeah, man.
Happy that you have to come out here a lot then. That's
yes,
great.
Sir.
Good news for us. All right.
Well, we do our every now and then on Twitter, we used to run kind of Warriors player for life kind of polls.
Mm-hmm.
And you were always top tier.
Oh wow, nice.
You, Sean, Iguodala, all those guys from those years. And even someone in our comments, you know, saying, we love you. And I mean, that's definitely true. I mean, I've got to watch you. I've come out to a few games and stuff and gotten the pleasure to watch you. And just, I mean, that was a great few years to watch just the team grow. One last question, just based off someone asking in the comments. Like, how did Steph help your shooting?
I mean, by watching them. It's crazy. I can tell this quick story to elaborate on that, honestly. Remember one of my first practices, when I first got there, and it was like doing training camp. And it's my first practice with the guys. You know, we going up and down, we're doing our drills, everything like that. And after practice, you know, everybody always gets their work in. You know, you go to shoot extra shots. Guys had their own baskets, and I remember doing my workout, you know, and I pressed up there, you know, a little later after practice, and I got done, and I walked by, and Steph was still shooting. I just sat down and watched. Like, this is the only time I ever did it, and sat down and just watched him shoot, like this his entire workout. And like from then on, it kind of shows you, like, everybody, you know, thinks that. I mean, obviously he has a gift. Everybody knows that, but I mean, you still have to put the work in at it, you know, with what you have. And seeing him do that, that one day, it's like a switch almost. It's like, man, if this guy at this caliber is putting this much into his craft, like, why should not? Like, and so it just, you know, obviously you don't want to. He makes every shot in practice, so you want to like we've had like a couple, you know, little competitions and one-on-ones and stuff like that. But just seeing his work ethic, man, that made me, you know, get in the gym and make sure that I always get my reps in. I always, you know, work on my craft, because the guy doing that it's not a secret why he makes the shots that he makes. Like, he works on them all the time. So like, that's him and Klay. I can say both of those guys. Like, obviously KD and those guys too, but just seeing those guys my first year. You know, they set the bar. It just makes you want to, you know, make your game, your shot, whatever, you know, that much better. So those guys helped me tremendously, both of those guys.
All right. So who you got for next year? I mean, like, obviously we're getting Klay back. I mean, are you as excited, kind of just from afar, kind of seeing that coming
for sure,
back?
man? I mean, like Klay, man, is one of those guys that you just enjoy watching. And obviously seeing what you guys, like, watching from a fan, watching from afar, seeing what you guys accomplished this year. You know, everybody has the what if Klay was here, you know, moment. Everybody's had it throughout this whole season, I'm sure. So having him back, but just being a friend of his and just wanting to see him, you know, do well and be healthy and be able to, you know, play the game that he loves. Obviously, that's one of the things I'm looking forward to. But I mean, I think obviously, you know, you don't know. Those guys have been those three, you know, Steph, Klay, and Draymond. Those guys have done, you know, so many great things in their careers, and, you know, all of those guys healthy back playing together, you know, sky's the limit what those guys can accomplish just by the resume, honestly.
All right. Well, gonna let you go now, but I also want to say, you know, who knows with you too, right? Sky's the limit too, right? So
yes, sir. We'll see.
Look eagerly to where you're gonna land.
I am, man. I am. It's been, you know, you just, you know, watching all the playoff basketball, and it just makes you want to be a part of it, man. And it just makes you, you know, get that hunger, get that itch to, man, just continue to work. That's the only thing.
All right. Well, I'm sure it will pay off soon, and we can't wait to see where you land. We're excited for you as well. So thank you so much for coming on and, you know, adding to your legend here. Appreciate it.
Appreciate you guys having me, man. Y'all have a good night.
All right. You too. Thanks.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Rebecca. That was beyond fun. I mean, wow. That was incredible. That's why I'm just sitting here going, we might as well stay on for this game if you're game until you're tired, because you're 3 hours ahead of me. But
yeah, I mean, I could definitely watch until the end of the first half. I'll see kind of after that. But I definitely can do that.
yeah.
To the other person, I do want to address one thing in the comments. Everybody's talking about Ben Simmons. Personally, my personal opinion is I do not like the idea of trading for him. Yes, he can guard every position. Yes, he can drive and pass. Here's the issue. If you have one guy that entirely cannot shoot, that means you have another defender that can just leave him and go guard Steph and Klay.
Oh man, I forgot that
Mo never came.
I missed the Bob Myers call, but it's okay. Like, cause I mean, Ian Clark is a little bit more important on the spot. And what's he going to say?
Yeah.
Right? What's Bob Myers really going to say? And we can get that off of the warriors.com website later. But yeah, let's go back to the comments.
Woo!
Oh yeah, let's get back to the game. So where are you? I know I have a slow stream here. 5 minutes.
At 4:56.
Oh, I'm not too far behind.
But it's a dead ball right now.
Wow.
You'll see what I was wooing at.
Aiton, yeah. Wow, it's only 13-12. I feel like that's rather low scoring. Yeah, that is rather low scoring.
Yeah, and people were taking the over on it. It was like over under 225. People were taking the over. Shouldn't have.
So what are we saying in the comments here? I kind of missed that. Who are we taking?
Just some people are kind of talking about trade scenarios.
Oh. I don't mind Scotty Barnes. I really don't. In fact, Davion Mitchell is pretty good too. So, but we'll see. I just don't know that we can keep both picks on the payroll. That's my concern, because if you look at 1 through 15, I actually did this on our Discord app. It's like, man, that's still a lot of youngsters. So I wish these two picks could merge into one or get some value out of one of them. I just don't think we can have that many young guys, because we got Wiseman, we got JP, we got this draft pick, and people want to get Justinian Jessup. So like, yo, if you're that crazy about Justinian Jessup, then you can only have so many young guys on the squad.
Yeah, I was going to say, one thing that's going to be interesting is we have to have enough roster spots for all these guys.
Exactly. Right.
So I mean, I love the idea.
You got to get some
of
vets.
Taking the 7 and the 14 and being able to move up, to a top 5.
Who's going to do that though? Right. Like, is Cleveland?
Yeah. I mean, what teams?
No. Yeah.
I mean, is OKC in one of those top spots? I don't think so.
And everybody knows that these top 5 guys could be number ones in any other draft. So like, why would they want to part with that? I was just
I mean, I don't see it. Do we even have Nico anymore? Yeah.
If Cleveland was 5th or something, where Jalen Suggs was only available at say 4 or 5, probably 5, they already have Sexton, so they don't need to double up at point guard. So then maybe they do the trade, but they're number 3 now, and they can go ahead and pick up Jalen Green or Kuminga. That's a no-brainer. You don't trade that. So anyway, I don't know.
Someone was asking about Nico.
Yeah, I don't know. Yo, Nico, come to training camp. See how good you are. I think basically that's that. Nico's a free agent, though, I believe, unless it's a 2-year two-way. I'm not quite sure.
No, I think it was a 1 year. Last time I looked at our books, I believe he was listed at a 1 year.
Are they going to continue with the Smiley experiment? No, absolutely not. But I haven't heard anything. I'm just saying that's logic.
What's the site you use? I always ask.
What's the what?
So
for multi-year, if you want to see future years, I use Hoops Hype, and you just type in Hoops Hype Warriors salaries. You can go to the Warriors, and then you can switch the team to any of the other 29 teams. But then if you want to get really nitty gritty, like when is the option on Smiley, then you go to Spot Track, which is the way it's spelled except without a K, Spot Track, SPOTRAC. Or you can Google Spot Track Warriors salaries, and then that will give you all the little nuances like the dates and how they got signed. Were they signed with the mid-level exception? Were they this or that? And all of that. But I like Hoops Hype because it's just easier to look
Yeah.
at future years.
So, well, Smiley is an interesting one because technically is 3 years on his contract, or 2 after this year.
It'd be crazy to exercise the option.
Well, it's not an
on
option.
Smiley. Yeah, it is. It's a team option. Well, we can go
Based
to
on
SpotTrack.
Hoops Hype, it's not.
Oh, really? Let me see.
Based on Hoops Hype, we have 3 team options this year: Damian, Mulder, and Gary Payton II.
I'm pretty sure it's a non-guaranteed option on Smiley.
Okay.
So let's go to SpotTrack just to see this. That's what you do is kind of check both of them. Let's see. Like I'm shocked that it wouldn't be. It can't be guaranteed for that long. There's no way. But let's see. Oh, it should be in italics. Is it? It's not. So I don't know what's going on here. I could have sworn Smiley was there was an option.
Even if it's not, they're not gonna keep him.
Well, then you gotta do something with them, which is like oh, there it is, August 8th. Down on the deadline section of SpotTrack, August 8th, does it become guaranteed? I think.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I think these tables may not.
If he's
be
not
updated.
waived by July 6th, his
Yeah, there you
contract
go.
becomes guaranteed.
August 6th, right?
I am showing July 6th,
Where?
at least on Hoops Hype.
Oh, huh. Well, anyways, the deadline on the guaranteed is August 6th for whatever reason on SpotTrack. That's funny.
Well,
anyway.
I'm showing I'm showing July 6th, but either way, he's not guaranteed. Let's see, I had wrote out the
Huh.
I had written out the different stuff about free agency.
Well,
But
whatever
that's
it is,
for players.
July 6th, August 6th. You know what I think it is? I think Hoops Hype database is based on the usual schedule.
It might be later for this year.
And
Yeah.
SpotTrack is updated probably to the actual contract, is what I'm guessing. Which means we just went through a pandemic, where the finals will end in July. So everything's delayed a month. So that might.
I'm sorry, I just have to laugh at this proposed trade in the chat.
Oh no. If you have to laugh at it, then we're not mentioning it.
Well, the person put please answer. All I would
No,
say is
we're not.
Kenley, no.
Who?
That is one of the most idiotic trades I've ever heard. Listen to Anonymous.
Well, Kenley must be new to Let's Go Warriors because first of all, we sort of demand is a strong word. We highly encourage people to look at salary cap tables and really just go to all 30 teams and look at the tables because you'll learn a lot. You'll learn that Wiggins's contract would be tough to swallow on any other team. Really, just even not knowing anything about him, just look at the name and the number. The amount of the salary that he carries is very it carries a lot of weight. It's a huge responsibility. It's a huge financial commitment. So that sort of will open your eyes to, oh, that's why GMs probably don't want to touch his contract because he is the whatever it is, like 30th highest payer in the league or something like that. It's something, he's pretty far up there. If you go to bkref.com and just look at the salaries, let's do that. But yeah, you can talk about something else while I go look that up. Let's see, Wiggins.
Also, anyone that
He's the 23rd highest player in the league. Oh my God. He is
Wiggins?
right. He has the same salary as Joel Embiid, the exact same contract.
Yeah.
So you see, guys, that's why your trade scenarios suck. Because you don't go and look at the salary cap tables. You don't go and look at the list of salaries on BKRef. So do that more. Then you won't make comments that we laugh at.
Yeah,
So
like anyone
a
that says
non-starter.
trade Draymond, I'm sorry. Like,
That's a non-starter. Yeah. Trade Draymond. Oh man, why are we still doing that? Maybe
for
you
Ben
could.
Simmons, like what the hell?
Mm-mm.
It would be an idiotic trade to end all idiotic trades.
You're not trading Draymond. You need Draymond to, I mean, how many games did you watch? You had to know that Draymond is key to getting Steph open. That alone.
Yeah, they did Weibo, but
untradeable.
He's worked out for us, and look at the pick we just got. I mean, you could thank that Wiggins trade for that pick.
2K, yeah. At least
2K gets a lot of people screwed up.
All right.
DeRozan to the Warriors. I don't really see that as a great idea.
What is his contract? His contract's it's a fat contract, right?
Essentially, the Warriors, anybody they sign has to be below max and significantly below max.
Yeah. I mean, there you can make the case. You can maybe say, oh, Wiggins could fit in Popovich's system. But the problem is then you go back to reality and you're like, wow, we just spent a whole year investing in Wiggins to become integrated in Steve Kerr's system. And by the way, he was successful in that system. So why would you start all over again with DeRozan, right?
Yeah.
So that's the part where it's not like a video game. Like it takes so long. We just learned that this year. It takes so long to learn how to play with Steph. And then once you learn how to play with Steph, if you're playing very well with Steph, then why would you break that up only to try and integrate another guy into it? And that's just kind of what you get. I mean, it's not a bad thing. Like we were just talking the other day, right? You have Giannis, Embiid, all these guys in the playoffs right now. They're playing so well, and I'm still happy we have Steph, right? I'd rather have Steph than any of those.
Well, that's one of the important things to do this summer is we've got a contract extension that needs to be signed for one Steph Curry.
The crazy thing about that is that if I were, let's say there was a way for the universe to guarantee he doesn't get injured, then if I were Steph, I'd be like, okay, maybe I'll pull a KD and like give you a few extra millions so that we can, have more flexibility on this roster, maybe sign a guy. But the problem is that injuries do happen and you really can't take that risk. So as a player, you have to go after that extension now. And as a franchise, you have to show that respect and just go ahead and pay him that. So, if it was a video game, you could maybe like try to find a way to hack that injury score, the chance that something will happen, but you can't. This is real life and anything can happen. So you better sign that extension if you're Steph. And if you're Joe Lacob, you better give him the extension because he deserves that respect.
I feel like they just signed him to an extension.
Yeah.
But no. Anything, I mean, he's got to be signed. Easy as that.
Yep. Just got to. How's the game going? I kind of ignored it for a little bit. It's pretty close.
Suns up 3 at the end of 1.
Low scoring, which is crazy. But I guess the Clippers are playing good defense, and so are the Suns. And anytime you watch the Suns, I just think, man, Ayton has that sort of trajectory that Wiseman hopefully will fall into. And he could definitely be the next Ayton. And that's pretty good in the next year or two. Give it 2 years. So I have really high hopes for Wiseman. I saw enough flashes to know that he's got a lot of skill. He's got a lot of talent. He's got the athleticism. Just give him some time to integrate.
Talking Wiseman?
Yep. Just give him some time.
Yeah, no, I'm excited to see him. Anyone that's saying trade him, anything like that, nah.
Wiseman's overrated? No, he's not. He's rated exactly where he's rated.
He's barely gotten any time yet. I mean,
I know. That's
he played 3 games in college?
the whole problem was during the All-Star break, he forgot to do the test, and that set him back. And then I think even before that, he injured his wrist, and then there was the injury.
Yeah.
So
there was the wrist injury, which before the wrist injury,
Nightmare
he had
season.
started to look good.
Exactly. Yeah. Don't forget.
Yeah,
Right before that wrist injury.
Oh
he was
my
looking
God.
good.
Is Karl Anthony Towns an option?
Nope.
I'm sorry, person, please just go look at a cap table.
Yep.
Any player paid that much, any player on a max contract or near max, without letting go of one of
You're
our
gonna
core
trade
guys,
Klay? You're gonna trade Klay for Karl Anthony? How are you getting Karl Anthony Towns?
Yeah, because Wiggins, no one's gonna take Wiggins. That
Minnesota
contract,
isn't
no
gonna
one's
trade for Wiggins. That's the
Who
last.
would? OKC?
I don't think anybody would.
Yeah. So no
Too
one is
risky.
going to take Wiggins,
He's
which means
he
you
makes
either
as
have
much
to
as
trade
Embiid.
Steph, Dre, or Klay to try and
Right.
get Towns. So Towns can just come over and not play defense and not pass. And obviously we saw that Towns doesn't work with Wiggins, so why would we try that experiment again? Anonymous, he just wants to know that, a person my age, in the NBA, they're ready to be out there with grown men at 33. I mean, we're just all ready. Just throw us to the wolves and we'll be perfectly ready for a perfect year, our first year. And neither do I want them, Leopard, to swap them. I think that's an awful idea.
Wait, is that Anonymous? That's all that's on here? Oh, Anonymous.
Yeah, we do not want Simmons either. God. Yeah, we don't want that.
Yeah, Anonymous, I need your email. So hit me up. I don't know how.
I mean, did you see, by the way, at one point we had 110 people watching us?
I know.
We're at 94 right now. Still, much appreciated, everybody. I hope you guys enjoyed
Everyone
tonight.
Splash.
It was really fun.
That was so fun. Thank goodness we got Ian Clark. He saved the day because we were supposed to have Mo, and Mo went ghost. He got my DM because it said seen. I got you, Mo. But I think it's a situation of he probably doesn't have Zoom.
Yeah, I wore my Gator hat for him, but shout out Gators either way.
Oh yeah.
Gators have one guy that'll probably go in the probably be in the top in the first round. What's his name? That was an awful shot. Jesus. What's his name? Trey Mann, I think.
I have heard of him. So who's at 6? I forget. I mean, I wasn't paying attention. Who's the 6th? What team has the 6th pick?
Let me look at.
Because that's the team we're going to worry about taking Scotty Barnes if we keep the 7th. But you know what? Trade the 7th and 14th for the 6th and get Scotty Barnes. Why not? I mean, we just can't afford. We need veterans. That's all I'm saying. And if we get a couple veterans, then that doesn't leave a whole lot of room to sign all these young guys. Like, I think Justinian Jessup should be a 2-way. If you want him, as far up as he can go, I would say 2-way. Man, I should pull up that list that I made. I made a roster thingy. I don't know where I put it though. How am I going to find this thing? Probably in the Myers channel of our Discord.
Sorry, I was looking up the draft order and I got sidetracked. OKC is at 6.
Oh, okay.
OKC and their thousands of picks. Yeah, it goes.
Yeah, they don't
Detroit,
need 6.
Houston,
Let's
Cleveland, Toronto, Orlando, OKC, us. And then Orlando again at 8. Via the Bulls. Sacramento at 9. Pelicans 10. Charlotte 11. San Antonio 12. Pacers 13. Us 14.
Oops. I can't find my post. Trying to figure out the roster here.
For us?
Yeah, I posted it on our Discord, but that was eons ago. So,
well, I know most of it. Like for this year, who's
no, I mean during the off season.
You mean like the team roster?
Yeah.
Well, isn't it just the people that are on the books?
No, I just mean theoreticals, like veteran center, Iguodala, those veteran wing.
Iguodala, I believe, has another year with the Heat.
It's a team option, so he's rather expensive at $16 million. So I would hope that Miami does not give him the team option, but whatever.
Yeah,
good for Iguodala. Oh God, I don't even know how to find this.
Woo! Deep book in his bag.
Oh, here we go. I found it. So I think they should keep Oubre for various reasons, but the main thing is if he walks, then we can't replace him with anybody except the veterans minimum. And you want to find ways to circumvent the salary cap. So to go sign an expensive player. And you heard from Charlie Torres, Klay's trainer, that he's pretty high on Kelly Oubre anyways. So, but my thing is, even if Oubre does not mesh well with Steph and Klay, Terrence Mann,
Well, we can just wait until December or February to trade him then. Trade him for something, but at least you don't let him walk. Like, you'll get something back, something. So you don't let him walk right now. All right. So yeah, I have the first round pick. You probably want to have a guy like Bazemore come back. Why? Because he plays good defense. I mean, he was starting at the end of things. At the end
I
of
would
the
bring
season.
back him.
He's not supposed to be a starter, right? Then you have the MLE spot, and usually they try and find a backup for Steph with that, but we'll see. Then you have a veterans minimum. Is that going to be like a wing? Is that going to be a center, right? Because we probably, we got so decimated with injuries. We had no centers. I mean, yeah, we played those 8 guys, but that's not sustainable. And we probably would have gotten another injury in the playoffs, just going with 8 guys. And then in there is another first round pick, which is guaranteed. That's the number 14 pick. And then you have Pascal. Don't forget about Pascal. He's just a cheap contract. Like, he's a minimum contract. So if you get rid of Pascal, then you have to bring in another minimum contract guy. You can't really upgrade that far from Pascal just because of all of the salary slots and the amount of salary that we already have to pay. So when people say, oh, get rid of Pascal and trade Pascal, it's like he's the 15th guy, and he's a decent 15th player. So why would you trade him? It's like, that's who you're looking for with the 15th spot. And then the 2 ways, I'm thinking Jessup is one of the 2 ways, and who knows with the other guy. But you see, if I look at this list of 15 guys, I would rather have a veteran than that 14th pick. I'm sorry. I want more experience in there. You need someone who's won games before, like who's a cheap wing, let's say Rudy Gay decides to go veterans minimum, which maybe he won't because he's a wing. So maybe it's like a veteran center. You need a veteran wing and you need a veteran center. So who's the veteran center? I mean, even a guy equivalent to Willie Cauley-Stein would have been helpful this year, right? Because they just had nobody, decimated. So someone like that, even, not that, I don't know that he's available or anything. I'm just saying that we can plug in a guy that's like a poor man's JaVale McGee, like that, rather than the 14th pick. So that's the problem with the 14th, with having the 14th pick. That's why I say turn those 2 first-round picks into 1 first-round pick, because that's a guaranteed salary. That's a roster spot you have to give up. I forgot Looney. Yeah, no, Looney's in my top 8. Steph, Klay, Wiggs, Dre, Wise, JP, Juan, Looney. Oubre being the 9th. Bazemore being the 10th. The first-round pick being the 11th. I mean, power forward, who are you going to get at power forward? Who's out there at minimum? All you have left are minimum slots. And the mid-level exception, $6 million.
I'd like to bring Oubre back. I like Oubre. It's only getting better.
6, 7 guys get beat up? What does that mean? I didn't say Wiseman was top 6. He's in the rotation. First 11 guys. But he's going to start. He's the starting center. So that sort of that sort of suggests that he's a top 6 guy. But who cares about rankings? Like, nobody cares. It's like, who's your rotation? That's one thing, is we don't really do rankings here at Let's Go Warriors because it always gets you into trouble. Predictions, rankings. Every time I predict, I probably get it wrong. So I'm not going to predict anymore. And then things can change game to game. Even trying to predict these series, you know, one guy goes down, Chris Paul, you know, so many variables in basketball. I just try to not to predict anything anymore. I mean, that's after covering this team for like 10 years. And also being an amateur basketball coach for years and years as well. There's Rondo with a foul to stop the fast break, even though it was 5-on-4. My idea for fouls on the fast break is count it as a delay of game. But then you get into the subjectiveness of it, like what's a fast break. But if there was a way,
what Van Gundy's been saying about what I think.
Yeah, except Van Gundy's like, 4 times or whatever. That's too hard to keep track of. Just redefine the delay of game to that. Then it becomes 2, basically. That's how I would do it. Then it's not a far stretch. Then you're asking the refs, hey, look, if they mess up a fast break, just call a delay of game. And then each one after that, it'll be a technical. That's fair, 1 point. LiAngelo Ball. We have video on LiAngelo on our website because he did the workout with the Warriors in 2019. JaVale.
Oh, that's a good look. Campaign with spit on your beard.
Wow, we have 77 people watching now. But it's probably due to the title. We just bled into the game, though.
Well, we had them all year.
We did have them on.
Only one we didn't get was Mo.
They're talking about it in the comments. My opinion, I said it at the time. My opinion was, honestly, I love the guy, but Draymond's turnovers cost us both the Lakers games and the Memphis games. But the caveat for that was there was so much on his shoulders, and you're only playing 8 guys. He's getting really worn down throughout the whole season. So I forgive him, but his turnovers cost us both games, but I forgive him. It's just part of, we were just depleted. I mean, still we should have won, but so you can't really make excuses, but then you are making excuses. It's kind of that catch-22 of basketball. I always find myself rooting for the underdog, so I'm rooting for the Clippers. Which
No.
is weird. It's kind of a totally different Clippers team. Like, you don't hate Pat Beverly as much. Found out he was roommates with Steph. I never really had any problem with Paul George. I love his moves. They're so smooth. They got Boogie, so everybody likes Boogie. But Phoenix definitely is more talented. Sometimes it's like I want them to go through the process too. Like, they're so young, like lose a little first before you win, at least. Like, this is their first time in the playoffs, and then for them to win just like that, it's like, you want them to go through some heartbreak first. I mean, 2015, we kind of didn't go through as much heartbreak, but then again, we did, because 2014 was heartbreak, and then 2016 was obviously heartbreak. And it was funny, Steve Kerr said that it kind of happened in reverse. We won, and then we got the heartbreak, whereas usually, like with the Chicago Bulls going through Detroit, you have the heartbreak, then you have the win. So I kind of want Phoenix to go through some kind of heartbreak first before they earn a trophy, but it's a different era. So I'm not going to hate them. I will congratulate them if they actually do win it, because they're a damn good team. I think the Clippers window is obviously with Kawhi, possible ACL, but they're just an older team. So that's what you get when you have an older team, is your window tends to be shorter. I like the Hawks as well. I'm kind of glad that the young team felt the heartbreak. It's just, I've seen that so much in basketball. It's kind of like the rite of passage. So I'm not glad, but I'm not surprised. So I'm
can you guess who my three that I didn't want to win are?
Well, you definitely didn't want the Nets. You didn't want the Lakers and the Clippers, probably.
Wait, sorry. You said the Nets. The Nets was right. What were the other two you said? The Clippers.
I blanked out and thought the Hawks lost. They won, so now they play the Bucks, and so I'm rooting for the Bucks on that one because of the rite of passage rule that I have with my OG style.
Wait, but what do you think are my three that I wanted to lose? You were right about the Nets.
Yep.
You said the Clippers. That's wrong.
No, I said Lakers for sure. You did.
Oh, Lakers. Yeah, definitely.
That is the only team that I just refuse to root for at all.
Now, what do you think the third was?
I thought it was the Clippers, but that's wrong.
Mm-mm. It's a team that treated Jimmy Butler wrong.
Oh.
Philly.
Wait, Chicago's not in there. Oh, Philly, right. Philly did.
Those players, after he was
like,
the reason they even got to game 7 against the Raptors. They boo him.
Yeah, Philly is Philadelphia is a nasty fan base of anything, even the Eagles, just Philly. Some angry people in Philly. But if I'm rooting for a team, they got to be doing some things that's right, like no stupid mistakes. And the Sixers have so many stupid mistakes. It's like, I can't root for this team because, like, if I was coaching them, they would drive me up the wall. I'd be like, guys, I'm done. I can't coach you guys no more. So it's kind of that frustration. And the Bucks had been that for me up until game 7, really. Game 6 against the Nets sucked so much, and that was hard to judge. But then they pulled out game 7 and was like, oh, okay. You didn't do stupid stuff this time. Well, actually they did, because Brooke Lopez didn't shoot the ball with the shot clock with 2 seconds left or something. Like, it's those stupid things that make it hard for me to root for a team. I mean, unless it's the Warriors. Always going to root for the Warriors, but yep. The last time I played seriously was like, like I'm really wanting to win a game, be it pickup or whatever. Both of my heels were super sore. And that's when you're like, nah.
Great pass by Wiggins. I'm not. I've been talking way too much Warriors by 8.
Number 22. That's why. Because Wiggins is 22.
Is 8 and 22?
Yeah. Number 22, that is. Uniform number. All right. So you got to go, right? 2.3 seconds. Oh, we got 81 people. Like, I can't.
Yeah, no, I'm going to stick around a little more.
I tried to get Benzino, but he didn't respond. And I tried to get the other guy. Let's see. Seen 32 minutes ago. Maybe they just wanted to come on when Festus and Juan were on. Yeah, it's cool to start thinking if we had Scotty Barnes. It's cool. I think that's realistic.
Yeah, I mean, I'm happy. I wanted to get that Wolves pick, and we did.
It's
so
crazy.
I can't complain.
I saw some of the Mike Schmidt's Draft Express clips. That dude is 6'9". I mean, and he's so mobile. Oh my gosh. It would be a treat to have him on defense. No doubt. That's not in contention. We can't argue that. The question is his offense. But whatever. If he's going to be the future Draymond, fine. Let's groom him. Bring him in. Yeah, I'm going to be pretty happy with whoever the 7th pick is. I don't think you can really screw that.
No, I don't think you can go wrong.
Yeah. And I don't even like if we also have a 14th pick on payroll, whatever. It's not like I'm going to hate Bob Myers or whatever. It's just, to me, it's just learning about people, you're constantly learning. So you learn a little bit more about Bob Myers. You learn a little bit more about how this regime, this culture makes decisions. And then further down the line, that will help you predict better what they might do with whoever else. So it is all helpful information to go on. Yeah, I just don't know that there's anybody offensively gifted. Davion Mitchell? Is it Davion or Davion? But anyways, maybe him. I also feel like whatever guy we bring in at number 7, if it is number 7 or 6, if it's one of the top 5 kids, it's almost like I'm almost like in a way, you could say I'm more worried about that in terms of fit. Because let's say it was Jalen Green. How do you fit that into all of that? Granted, Jalen Green is a generational type. So in a few years, we're going to be so glad we had a guy like that. But if it's not him, then it's a guy you can plug in like Scotty Barnes or Davion Mitchell, who's a little bit older, but, you know, can be Klay's backup or Jordan Poole's backup even. At least there you kind of know where he fits. Or maybe I'm just not an outraged person like on Twitter. Like whatever happens, happens. Like I accept it, and I'm still gonna root for the team. And I'm still gonna hope that whoever we get can fit into the system, can get the ball to Steph, get the ball to Klay, and then hit a wide open shot when he's totally wide open because of the gravity, you know, and so on and so forth, and be confident in that. Kind of go through the whole Jordan Poole process again with whoever this new guy is. Yeah, it's time to start looking at who this 14th might be as well. Start getting these names like Bo Knight. I mean, I've seen the name. I haven't done any research, but I've seen the name. I don't even know how to pronounce it yet. But yeah, at some point between now and the draft, so we got a month to watch all of the Draft Express scouting videos, oh my God, it's so much work, but that's why we're here. That's why we do what I do. So, oh boy, a lot of homework to do.
Yep, we had a lot of work.
Extra two-piece mentions Kuminga. You know, one thing in our Discord, which somebody mentioned, was even with the combine, and maybe they have the numbers out already. I got to go look that up. But what is Jonathan Kuminga's actual height? Like, what if he's 6'8" without shoes? Then you start thinking, okay, maybe his ceiling is Jason Tatum, maybe, right? So you never know with these guys. I don't know. Like if you're gonna say I'm not really so high on Kuminga, say why. You know, something that will help our knowledge. Oh, I don't know about that. The whole thing about more pressure on Wiseman if our 7th or 14th pick outplay him. I don't think anybody's going to outplay anybody at the center position. Like Wiseman's a 5, and we need him to play a 5 right now. We don't need him to pretend he's Draymond suddenly, unless the opportunity presents itself in a game where the defense just isn't getting back and he might as well just take it up himself. But other than that, we're trying to simplify his responsibilities so that he can succeed in those things. And a lot of that is exactly what DeAndre Ayton is doing these days, which is get alley-oops when the gravity goes on Steph and Klay, and block some shots, get rebounds, and outlet. So in that respect, there's not a whole lot of pressure on Wiseman. Just do these fundamental things. Now, later on in his career, as Draymond gets older, Looney gets older, then there'll be pressure on Wiseman. Because if he doesn't perform, we ain't got no chance, that kind of thing. Yeah, I'll start answering this. But who was out there? Experience Center. I like Boogie. I still like Boogie. I don't know. I haven't watched him enough.
He's playing in this game.
Watched. Yeah.
He's on the Clippers. So he's in this game.
Yeah. Yeah, so Bob Myers has such a tough job these days, especially now. I think it is tougher than, oh, KD wants to come here as a free agent. Okay, let's see who we can get on veterans minimums. You know, this is a harder roster to construct. And you have draft picks and stuff. But it's hard to have a future Hall of Famer go down for 2 straight years, and now you got to reintegrate them. So it's always a moving target. So, you know, Bob's trying his best. The cool thing about Bob is he always makes everyone feel comfortable, whether that's a new free agent coming here, you know, so we'll always be a top 3 destination for any free agent. And that's one of the most important things you can do as a GM, is to make sure your franchise is a top destination just in case a free agent wants to come here. So because we have that, he has more, what he likes to say is, he calls it optionality, which is roster flexibility and more choices he can make. Whereas if you were the Portland GM, you know, you're never going to get a whatever star name to go there. So throw that out the window, and you're kind of limited. So I guess my demands of Bob aren't as high as other people.
I mean, you have our big 3. You've got a good year. I mean, that's a good team.
Miles Turner is a great name, but how in the world do you finagle Indiana out of that? Indiana knows what it's got. Herder? Oh man, no.
Excuse me.
So the bottom line is, a lot of guys we cannot afford. And then everybody's young and up and coming guy like Kevin Herder. I mean, Atlanta's not dumb. They know what they have. How in the world would we be able to get him? First of all, he's on a rookie contract, so
Who?
he's a bargain. Herder.
Oh, they're not letting him go.
Guys outperforming their rookie contract are pretty much untradeable, ungettable at the other end, which is also why we wouldn't trade Wiseman. That's another, as just an asset. He's on a rookie contract. He's like, basically you're getting a discount for this guy who has been injured, so he's not playing up to his ceiling. Maybe he isn't even playing up to a regular starting center in the NBA. But the fact that he's so cheap is, I mean, he is a number 2, so he's on the more expensive end of a rookie contract. But still, to get some other guys that are similar to him would be more difficult. To get a Ivica Zubac, that ship has sailed kind of thing, right? So there's no way you would trade a rookie contract that's on the up and up. And the problem with the rookie contract is if they're not performing, then it's hard to get rid of them as well. Like if Jordan Poole didn't improve, man, we'd be stuck with him regardless. Who's going to want him? But yeah, so Jordan Poole is only tradable if the incoming asset is an eye opener. It's like somewhat of a blockbuster type deal. But it's hard to trade anybody on a rookie contract. It really is. Like the only time you would do it is like Wiggins for Kevin Love, because LeBron just returned and we need to kind of revamp our roster to be high price free agents rather than up and coming rookie contract type things. Okay, trade the number one pick that you just got. So that's a rarity. Zubac's first name does not rhyme with Serge Ibaka's last name. I know that for a fact. Can't be. Ibaka Zubac? No. That's when we're like having not much to talk about. Tyler Hero mentioned. So what's up with Tyler Hero?
I mean, Tyler Hero, he had a sophomore slump kind of year. He was out for a significant time with an injury. Started to kind of come alive towards the end of the regular season, but kind of struggled in the playoffs, but as did the whole team. So I think people are overreacting. People are starting to call him a bust and all that stuff. I'm like, first off, the guy was the number 14 pick. I'm sorry, 13 pick. So you can't say a number 13 pick is a bust after 2 years. And there's the fact, at this point. Granted, he came out and played in the bubble. Amazing. He was great in the bubble. And I think he could get back to that again. He didn't have a great year. So but what did they say about Hero?
There goes Tyronn Lue in action. You don't get to see that a whole lot. You know what I like about Lue is that he's so calm on the sidelines. Like nothing will faze him.
Yo, what's up, Jeffrey?
Jeffrey.
Jeffrey, you missed all the fun. Ugh. Whenever you see those three announcers, it's just a big yikes. Especially Van Gundy sitting there in the middle with like a plump, old dad look. I have a feeling PG and Devin Booker are both going to go off in this half. I don't even know how to pronounce your name, but when you talk about the Heat from the bubble, that's BS. Because I think we're all seeing in the fact that they just beat Brooklyn, the Bucks are really good. The Heat didn't lose to a crap team in the first round. And that whole series would have been different had they made some correct calls in game one and the Heat won that in OT. It's a completely different series if they win that game. So don't try and say, oh, it's an aberration. Yeah, that's BS. Absolute BS. Yeah. They had some roster turnover. But I think they're going to come back and come back stronger. Bam's going to get better. So
The Heat.
don't try and say it's an aberration. That's
The
crap.
Heat were commenting in the Warriors live chat. Just
Yeah,
kidding.
I was looking at that. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, one more time. I listed the whole roster. I would prefer a veteran on the roster rather than the 14th pick. That's my preference. But I'm not going to hate on Bob Myers if we sign the 14th and the 6th or the 7th. I mean, the 7th and the 14th.
Campaign has an ugly
yeah,
looking jump shot.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, Butler and Tyler disappointed, but Tyler's in his second year. So the idea that you expect him to come out and be that good is just, it's false. Yes, he overperformed maybe in the bubble, and a lot of players have sophomore slumps. It's a thing.
Every time I look up, the Clippers
and then
are in
Butler,
the game.
you have their best defender on him. So I mean, just haters like you, I hope the Heat come back and prove wrong.
I hope the Heat don't exercise the option on Andre Iguodala.
I knew that was coming.
Oh no, Twitter trades. Oh no, don't bring Twitter onto here. I'm trying to get away from Twitter. Oh no.
Ugh. Taka, I watched every single Heat game. And yes, he did play bad. He was also out a significantly amount of the regular season with injury. And then in addition to that, defenses played him different. You know what? You lose to the potential champions. Yeah, I'm gonna defend their run because that's just when you look at how they played. Yeah, games 2 and 3 and 4 they play like crap, but outside of those, 3 and 4 they played like crap because they thought they couldn't even get back in the series. So after you lose game 1 like that, it completely changes the whole series. So, I mean, if you expect a 20-year-old to go out there and just be, I'm aware we got swept. Thank you very much.
I'll say this. I'm glad I didn't have to root for the Heat. I'm just glad. What a season. And I'm glad that I don't care how good they need to be next season. One team to worry about is enough for me. But
there are a lot of other good teams that get swept. It happens. Plus, after they lost, once a team goes down 3-0, you kind of give up. That's kind of how it goes. They're not the only team that's done that. You know, the most likely game you come out and win is game 3. They lost game 3, so you don't show up in game 4. And, I was at game 4, and up until the fourth quarter, they were winning, and Giannis just kind of took over. Add in the fact that, the teams that made it the farthest last year in the playoffs were also 4 of the teams out the soonest in the playoffs. In the sense, they barely got any rest time after the bubble. So none of the Lakers, the Celtics, the Nuggets, and the Heat all battled a lot of injuries this year and lost early on. So it's not just the Heat. That's all I will say. Don't test me.
Ooh, PG got a superstar call.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
That he did.
Well, Jeffrey's going to come on in a few minutes.
Am I a Warriors fan?
Oh, maybe because they caught you talking about the Heat.
Talking about the Heat. I am a Warriors fan, and I'm also a Heat fan. I am from Miami. But I've also rooted for the Warriors since Steph was drafted from Davidson.
Be right back.
So yes, I am a very hardcore Warriors fan, while also being a hardcore Heat fan. And I do not appreciate when anyone hates on either of my two teams, and I will go on rants about both. Hero should be a precise sharpshooter in his second game of the year, and Butler being defended by their top guy? The Heat literally had a target on their back for knocking out the Bucks last year. So, of course, the Bucks came in and wanted to beat the Heat more than any other team.
Whoops.
How convenient right after Steph was drafted. What do you mean? I just said that I started rooting for the Warriors after Steph was drafted. I grew up, so I was born in Florida, but I grew up in South Carolina, not too far from Davidson. So, when I had a teacher, my French teacher, was a big Davidson fan. She went to Davidson. So when Steph was there and went on that tournament run, she was always telling us to go watch Davidson. And, I was 8 or so and just kind of fell in love with how Steph played and once he was drafted, I kept following him and watching him. As for when the Warriors play against the Heat.
I'm back.
Sorry, I put them in timeout. I could not.
He or she seems kind of mad. I mean, I don't get it.
Why am I? No, because that's the part of because I was born in Matthew. I was born in Miami, so I lived most of my life growing up in a combination of South Carolina and Florida. So my grandmother was always a Heat fan, so I root the Heat along with her. And then, like I said, fell in love with Steph Curry, and that just kind of is how that went. So, Aldi, what is that supposed to mean? No, you're good, Matthew. Yeah, no, I mean, and it can't, Aaron, if you look at games that we did our live streams for when the Heat played the Warriors, you can see just how those games go for me. It's a very anxiety riddled event. So it's tough when they play. I think it kind of depends on the year. Like obviously last year was an easier year for me because the Warriors weren't that good. So it was like, what's one more loss for them? But this year was a hard one because I know both teams needed every win they could get. Yeah. But it is, and then, I was with Rich at the game where, D Wade hit that buzzer beater to win the game. And it was like, I was a little bit like Steph after the game. I remember he told us, he was like, that's one of those plays that you love to see, except for when it's against you. And, I grew up, D Wade, and Steph were my guys. So it was a little bit of one of those like, okay, the Warriors are still gonna have a great seed in the playoffs, even with that one loss, and let D Wade end his career that way with a win like that. So two Barnes.
Aaron's always got these amazing.
Aaron,
what do you call these? Whatever's. Man, that's nuts. That is nuts. I might have to just write an article on that.
Two Barnes at 7.
Our new website. Oh, we have a new website. I'll put the link in there. It's www.letsgowarriors.com. For whatever reason, if you don't put www, it breaks. I have to figure that out in the next couple of days. But if you type in www.letsgowarriors.com, it works. Thanks to everybody that joined. I don't think Indiana would do that. Give up Miles Turner for the 7th pick. Who does that actually these days? Give up like a seasoned guy for a top 10 pick. Like I just don't see that a lot these days. Sign and trade, oh boy. Hold on. Man, where's that Jeffrey? He said he had to go wash because he just woke up. He had to go wash up. I'm like, dude, just come on as a hobo. Nobody cares. No, I'm just kidding, but no sign of him.
The season starts. I have this in our thing I wrote. Yeah, October 19th is the tip.
Oh wow! Wait, that's opening night or preseason?
I believe opening night.
That feels
preseason
early.
Usually starts.
Oh, you know why they did that was to give extra days
back to back.
Yeah, to have less. 4 games in 5 nights or 3 and 5
they
nights or
extended
whatever.
the season.
So they got to start it earlier, which means training camp will start.
Training camp starts
September
the
19th.
28th.
like a month, right?
No, training camp, at least as of what I found, starts September 28th.
Okay. So 3 weeks of training camp. No, that's 4. That's 4 weeks. That's good.
No, that's 3.
Oh, okay. So 28th. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, mixed that up.
Summer League, August 8th through 17th.
You know what's cool?
Which
is
we
that
gotta talk about that.
We only have 5 weeks off with nothing. That's not too bad because it used to be. I mean, the pandemic.
Well, and I mean, you call it nothing, but it's not completely nothing.
What do you mean? Oh,
it's no basketball, but it doesn't mean that there's not a whole lot of other stuff.
Well, there'll be guys
free agency, the draft.
The draft? No. Oh, you mean overall? No, I'm saying from August.
Sorry, I thought you were talking about in the summer. Yeah.
From the end of
There's
summer
about 5 weeks. That's not too bad.
Yeah. No, I need that break. Trust me. Especially after the draft. I already took a month off.
One thing I do want to talk about, because I know you, gosh, Aiden is having a good game. Same with Campaign. Campaign has really been stepped up in that starting role. I was gonna mention Team USA.
Yeah.
So of course at this point I think everyone knows Steph is not playing, which is in many ways a little bit of a disappointment because you know he still hasn't won a gold medal. Yeah. And you gotta hope that, you know, at some point maybe he plays on an Olympic team so he can win a gold medal. That's just how I feel.
I actually talked to Brandon Payne earlier about that. Basically, he said that
he doesn't want to risk injury, probably.
Steph, the whole time Steph was leaning towards not playing because it would take away his time as being a father. You know, look at Cannon. Look how small he is still.
That's fair.
So there's that. But then also this Olympics is a little bit more restrictive. You got to test all the time.
Yeah.
Japan doesn't.
No, it's definitely understandable. I mean, and he's what? What age is he at this point?
33, right?
Yeah. So, I mean, technically, I mean, as a shooter, he could play. Ooh, 8. He could play at 37. He could go to an Olympics. I mean, I believe one of their, who was it, Melo last Olympics, kind of played a little bit of a veteran, you know, I'm not playing a ton of minutes, but I'm going to go to the Olympics role. Although USA Melo's a kind of different Melo, but still. So, I mean, I think,
I think Chris Paul comes back to Phoenix. It's just they need him.
Oh, but I wanted to talk about the rest of Team USA because talk about a stacked roster being built. You know, as of now, see the commits. So we know Draymond is playing. Draymond, it's his second Olympics, I believe. He went to Rio with Klay and KD back in 2016. He is joining Bam Adebayo, James Harden, KD, Bradley Beal, Jason Tatum, Devin Booker, if the Suns don't make the finals, and Dame. Oh, and sorry, also Drew Holiday and Middleton, and Kevin Love. Well, Middleton and Holiday are also like, Devin Booker, where Devin Booker's hurt. Not like a bad injury, like
Oh,
he's
is
hit
that
on the
blood?
face.
Looks like blood
Yeah,
on Beverly's jersey.
yeah, Beverly hit him in the nose. And then was like, what?
Oh, geez. Oh, so his nose splattered blood, probably. I don't know. I just glanced at
And
it.
then Beverly goes like, what? Why is there a foul? Yikes.
Oh, ouch. I mean, I need to maybe double check this with a couple other people, maybe Gabe, maybe my NBA insider guy, but I'm pretty much thinking that the Oubre situation is really not so much about Oubre. It's really about the salary slot. Because if you let him walk, you can't replace him with anything other than veterans minimum or mid-level exception, $6 million one. And we're talking about if you re-sign Oubre, he's like a $15 to $20 million contract that you can maybe trade for somebody else worth that much in the future if it doesn't work out in December, January, and February until the trade deadline. So my thought on the whole Oubre situation is it's a mechanical process. It's like you only get so many opportunities to go over the cap. And we're over the cap with Oubre. We're allowed to do that because he was signed with the traded player exception, which was Iguodala's exception. I mean, if anything, at least sign Oubre and then trade him, and then you'll still retain that salary slot. You can still get somebody back. So it's like you go to BK Ref, go look at the list of salaries. You know, you want that Oubre slot to either stay Oubre and he becomes a good piece for the Warriors, or you replace him but with a similar salary. You don't want to just delete that row and have to go down to the 100th most highest player paid in the league. Why would you do that? It just doesn't make sense. Someone needs to come up with a better reason for me to delete that salary slot. I just don't see it happening. It doesn't make sense to me. You got to have that flexibility. What Bob Myers says is optionality. You got to have the ability to have some options with that Oubre contract. Who cares who it is? If it was Smiley who was making 16 million, you would still do the same thing because you want to keep that ability to trade for a similar guy and circumvent the salary cap. So that's my thinking on that. If
Rich, can
that
we
is
sign
wrong-
Danny Green in free agency?
If I'm wrong, somebody tell me. Somebody point that out. But what was that? Danny Green?
Someone asked, can we get Danny Green in free agency?
Yeah. So what
You
we
want to know
do-
what I think about that?
He makes a hell of a lot, right? So we go to salaries. We go to what team did he play on? Sixers?
Yeah.
Philadelphia.
Well, that's not even where I start with that. Danny
No,
Green,
see, where-
hell no.
Where you ought to start with that is the salary cap, because then you wouldn't even have to say hell no if it didn't make sense. Like,
Right. But still, hell no.
I mean, 15 million. How would you do that? He's a free agent. So you can't trade Oubre for him. He's a free agent. Danny Green is. So how would you obtain a $15 million contract or similar? Let's even say he gets a pay cut. Like, he's no longer worth 15 million. He's worth half of that, 8 million.
How
We still
would
don't
you
have the
sign that?
money.
You can't sign that. We can't do it. We don't have the room. That's where the salary cap
No,
table.
Danny Green.
The salary cap table will tell you that.
We will never have Danny Green on the same team as Klay Thompson. Thank you very much.
Yeah, Klay would probably say, Bob, come on. The guy who, you know, made me land funny and then ACL, come on. No. Yeah. That's why that rumor was crazy. You know, that was just something. You know what that is? That is a non-reliable NBA reporter. In other words, not named Woj, not named Shams, not named Chris Haynes, not named Mark Stein, not named Anthony Slater. That he's on a phone call with somebody who is an assistant GM somewhere, and the name Danny Green comes up and the name Golden State Warriors comes up. Do you think that writer would pass up the opportunity to report that? He's looking out for himself. He's looking out for his career, and he needs names to back up his career. So if he's one of the few guys that hears Danny Green and the Warriors involved in something, he doesn't know what, he's going to bust his ass to report that. And all of a sudden, Bleacher Report will do a meme, Clutch Nation will do a meme, or Clutch Points, whatever. Oh, that's how NBA media works, people. I'm in it. I know everybody in there, and they know me too. So like Mark Spears, I mean, you see all these guys, and then somebody comes up with this out of nowhere. Kevin O'Connor, we don't see him. I mean, he's up and coming. His sources will get better as he becomes more experienced, but he's a young guy. He's trying to get his name out there. He's trying to climb the corporate ladder. I can see all the motivations. And sometimes I notice that a report has more motivations behind it rather than actual reporting. So that's the good thing about Let's Go Warriors, is that I don't have the CEO of some cable company breathing down my neck, forcing me to come up with some article that's juicy. And no, I didn't just take a shot at our local cable company. Yes, I did, actually. Oh, well, they're never going to hire me anyways. I wouldn't want them to hire me. So do me a favor, keep plugging away on this YouTube channel for me. Let's get it up to 200K subscribers so I will never have to consider a job at a cable company where they're trying to make me come up with articles about the Warriors. Got to stay independent to be more real with the fans. Oh yeah, Gary Payton is a fun player to look at, but
I liked Gary Payton a lot.
We're still talking the 13th, 14th, 15th player on the roster, right? So
yeah, but he'd be a good two-way player.
I know, but we kind of have bigger fish to fry. So if it comes down to it that he can't be a Warrior, then so what? I mean, we got to get the rotation right. We got to get the draft picks right, the veteran wing. I mean, even though I think we're keeping Oubre, we got to get him right if we keep him. And if we get rid of him, then I hope it's a sign-in trade so that we can get another guy around his level. And then we got to worry about integrating that guy. And that's another reason to keep Oubre, is that whoever that new guy is, then we got to integrate that guy. And it was already hard enough. Like Oubre was just about to get it before he got injured.
playing with Steph and all that. Aaron Baines. Well, I'll tell you what I think about him. I'm going to try and remember what team he was on. And I don't, so I have to look him up. Raptors. So then you go to Hoops Hype. Salaries. Mine automatically goes to the Warriors. So then I change the team to Toronto. And then I look for Aaron Baines. And it tells me he made $7 million. It tells me he is signed by the Raptors, probably, unless there's something in there. No money guaranteed, Hoops Hype has learned. Contract becomes fully guaranteed, if not waived, the date that is 48 hours after the start of the 21-22 moratorium period. Oh, I don't know. He seems cheap at 7 million, right? 7.3 million. So it depends on what Toronto does. But if he's worth 7 million, then we cannot afford Aaron Baines. Unless we sign and traded Oubre for him, let's say, and got somebody else back. But then now you have somebody else back. Now you have to pay that somebody else or do something with that guy. You only have 15 spots. Tough. Oh, Patrick Patterson. I don't know about that guy. I actually organized some, well, not organized. I was the scorekeeper for some of his scrimmages before he got drafted. Patrick Patterson. Because he was in the Bay Area training with Frank Matriciano, who was the trainer for Blake Griffin back in the day. There you go. Patrick Patterson, 3 million. I think that's veterans minimum. So yeah, maybe.
Why would we even want him?
As a body. I mean, it's not like we go into it saying, oh, let's go get Patrick Patterson. It's like, who's left over at, what date on the calendar, and he's got to be the best remaining free agent whenever we're at a point. The stars have to align. You don't go out and get Patrick Patterson, right? He kind of drops in your lap. So that's another kind of thing where a guy should just kind of drop into your lap. Because those guys are mostly kind of, a dime a dozen type guys, right? Like, if it's not Patterson, then it's George Niang. And if it's not him, then it's somebody similar to that. So again, that's another 13th, 14th, 15th guy that I can't get outraged over, no matter who Bob Myers gets at 13th, 14th, and 15th on the depth chart. The only way we trade that 7th pick is if we move up. At the very least, we get Davion Mitchell, right? Next generation's Klay, maybe. But we're gonna be, this 7th pick, even if it's even if we could flip that into the number 5 pick somehow, we're still looking towards the future. It's not a guy who's going to come in and make a huge, huge impact. Look at that resiliency by the Clippers, though. They're always so resilient. Every time I look up, Now they're down by 1. That's what I like about them, is that they just stick around. Always gives themselves a shot. We're not trading Looney. We're not. He's kind of comes at a discount for all the little yeoman things that he does. Like, where are we going to find another Looney at the same price or cheaper? How are you going to find a guy that occasionally gets that, that little loose ball, and then that screen for Steph, and then that, pocket pass? It's hard to find those guys at 4 million or 5 million. I mean, usually you have to pay a Paul Millsap price for that. So we're not trading Looney. But let's take a look at his contract real quick. Yeah, the team option people. No, player option. The funny thing is, I don't know that Looney would make that much money on another team. I think he opts in.
Looney fits the system.
Yeah, exactly. And I feel like there's really only 2 teams in the league like that, us and the Spurs.
Louise, I agree with that statement. I'd love to have Keys.
Yeah. I mean, but that's a sentimental thing, right? I mean, like, it's hard to like go in to the trading season going, okay, we want Marquise Chris. It's kind of like,
yeah,
the
for sure,
have to be right. So that's why I don't like to get too attached. But man, Marquise is such a good guy. He really is. Always says hi to you. He's super gracious in Q&As and stuff, and that goes a long way. Like, you could ask him about anything, and he'll just sit there and answer questions over and over, and that's great, because sometimes you want to ask him about Steph or Klay, and he'll answer that. So he fits the culture very well. And yeah, if it comes down to him or George Niang, I'll pick him. Or Patterson, right? But yeah, unfortunately, he would be pretty far down the depth chart. But still, even these 13th, 14th, 15th guys, couple injuries, and suddenly they're the 7th, 8th guy. And it's a marathon season. So you do have to do your homework for those spots at the end of the bench. Oh, there he is. Jeffrey gonna bring us some new life, because I'm pooped. We've been on since 5. That's 3 hours. Jeffrey, Jeffrey, sub, Jeff.
Hello, I'm a bit late, but
See the microwave. Let's see. Let's judge Jeffrey's wash up. Okay.
oh no, please don't do that. Please don't do that. I need a haircut. I haven't cut my hair in like 3 months. It's horrible. So I haven't watched the game. What's going on?
Phoenix will always go on a little run, but then the Clippers come back. It's crazy.
Clippers always manage to like keep hold.
Oh man, I would love to have Jalen Suggs. I would love to have any of those top 5, because those guys are potentially generational players. Like when Steph is 36, then we're looking at these guys like
they're the future.
Whoever our number 1 pick is, our first round pick, whether it's 7 or we improve it to top 5 or 6, it's like in 3 years we're looking at those guys to carry the bulk of the load with the scoring and I mean, we'll see, right? Steph and Klay can still put the ball in the hole. But yeah, 3, 4, 5 years, yep, be those guys.
Alex Caruso was arrested.
What?
Oh, for what?
Stupid. In Texas for marijuana.
Oh,
Shouldn't even be a crime at this point.
I know, right?
Possession under 2 ounces and possession of drug paraphernalia. Come on. Freaking Texas. Where you can own a machine gun but can't have a little weed.
You don't need a license.
Man, Luke Kennard keeps impressing me.
And his hairline doesn't impress me.
I knew you were going to say that.
Always comes back to that. I better keep my cap on in your presence.
Devin Booker.
8:42 to go in the fourth for me.
Yeah, you probably shouldn't have a rookie guarding Devin Booker, who's a master of the pump fake.
Well, they don't have anybody else.
That's true with Kawhi out. And then, here comes Pat Bev.
I mean, kind of got to conserve PG's energy till later on.
Yeah.
Beverly's on 4 fouls and Terrence Mann's on 5, so might not be in for long.
Man, I am impressed by Kennard.
I'm just impressed with campaign.
Yeah.
8-2.
Oh, wow. He almost made that.
The bounce.
Oh, boy.
Reggie Jackson.
Wow.
Mr. June.
Also, I think we're perfectly in sync.
I'm behind you guys.
Oh, I'm perfectly in sync with Rebecca by random.
No worries.
Come on, Phoenix. There you
Oh,
go.
wow. There we go.
Campaign.
There's
One
that.
of the ugliest jump shots, but it's still effective.
Whoa.
All right, bad hairline.
Whoa.
They're so resilient. Man.
Yeah, he was like moving laterally as he took the shot.
I want to look up his contract. I'll bet you he makes.
Sorry, she
All right,
make
you
those.
can't miss that. All right, Suns need 8 and in.
Yeah.
Ooh. Kennard's contract goes up to 12, 13, and 14 million.
Over and back. What?
So he's a bargain.
I thought they were saying it was tipped for a minute.
Ooh.
That's right.
Really can't tell there on the replay. It was like both players grazing the ball.
Here's bad.
Ooh, Warriors Twitter. I mean, the actual team. Couple of Warriors legends have been taken with the 7th pick. I mean, Harrison Barnes isn't a legend, but still.
Or the others.
Usually they don't throw anybody under the bus like that.
Or the others.
Yeah.
Staff.
I'm not going to click on that. But Yeah, Steph and Chris Mullin. Oh, there's no link, so it's just Steph and Chris Mullin, I think, is their point. All right. Any other questions in the comments? Okay, so what I really want is an assassin at the wing. Well, that's exactly what this draft was going to bring. You have an assassin with Cade Cunningham. You have an assassin with Jalen Green.
I love
an assassin with Jalen Suggs even at point.
Zach LaVine is a shooting guard. But I love Zach LaVine.
Close enough. Kuminga could be an assassin. Who else am I missing? Who's the fifth? Oh, Mobley is the other top 5 guy, so he's not a wing. So it's a good draft.
Cameron Payne attacks and transition, reading a sprint speed of 60.7 miles per hour.
Oh, how many?
16.7 miles per hour.
You're kidding. Then what's De'Aaron Fox? 70 miles an hour?
Huh.
How do you run 16.7 miles per hour while dribbling a ball? That's crazy.
How much is it? 16?
Yeah, 16.7 miles per hour.
Oh, that's just 60.
60? Excuse me.
I don't know. I'm tired. I'm picturing the road run with the blurry feet or the flash. Wow, we still have more people on this live than we normally do have a Warriors game.
And it's because it's dying down from everyone we had earlier.
Yeah, exactly. Or they're watching the start of it, which is cool. Next thing I got to do is splice that video.
Okay, Beverly. Beverly's being really aggressive.
I hate Patrick Beverly.
Oh, talking smack.
What happened to Devin Booker's nose?
Oh, he bumped with Pat Bev.
Oh, you missed it?
Yeah, because
Patrick Beverly headbutted him.
Well,
of
course he did.
Oh, wasn't a headbutt.
Not complete headbutt, but he tried to act like it wasn't a foul, even though he totally hit him in the nose.
Why is Patrick Beverly defending with his head? I'm watching the replay. What is this man doing?
PG, you should know better than that. You're smarter than that.
Yeah, especially being such a good defender.
I don't even know if he did all that much. Wasn't he just like this?
Yeah, but his hand was in front. It's pretty textbook.
Yeah. Kind of have to call that
Yeah.
that much reaction to the foul. I think Steph is just too small. I think like if he were to do that, if just I don't know. I'm trying to picture. Still don't know the tons of theories. That to me is the number one theory as to why he doesn't get enough calls. Is just his size.
Okay, Beverly. Whoa, the Suns are struggling from deep.
You know, the other day, Crowder had a sidestep step back three. And you know what I was thinking? Actually, my dad texted me. I texted him saying, oh my God, Crowder sidestep three. And then my dad was like, I wish Draymond had that. And he's not going to have that. Draymond definitely does not have that. It's too bad.
To be fair, Jay Crowder sometimes doesn't seem like he has that as well.
Yeah, I know, right? Well, he made that one. But yeah.
Also, just now, he was like, it looks like he was scared to shoot the three, so he went for he cut in. Whereas, well, Booker like thought he was going to stay in the corner.
Yeah.
Which would have been what he would typically do.
Yeah.
Did he make his threes as part of Miami last year?
Yeah.
He did?
Was it consistent or like on and off?
Until they got
He was
eliminated?
great the most of the playoffs until the finals.
Yeah.
Campaign ugly jump shot. But somehow it goes in.
Oh, wow. The scramble defense. The Suns defense there was like so fast
I was
on
thinking
rotations.
the same thing.
Oh, we're not going to get it tonight, but I missed Jeffrey's reactions. Oh! Steph Curry hits.
Interesting. Interesting. After all of that, they go for that shot.
They didn't get anything better. What is the point of what?
What is he doing? You're just hugging him.
They're calling that a jump?
Wow.
He was behind him.
Yeah.
Both hands went around the player. Like, in no sense can that be positioned.
That's not a jump ball.
How in the hell is that position?
Why was that ref like go over there?
But he's. Look, is this the new meta then? You just hug people?
See, the ref has to get in between that sooner.
Well, it didn't really go to anything.
All right, so
Fast and the Furious 9, thumbs up or thumbs down? What are you thinking?
I kind of lost interest after like
I'm
5.
watching it. I'm watching it tomorrow. I'm excited, man. I know
I'm
they're
watching it
bad, but that's the
tomorrow. I love
point.
it, but- Yeah. I'm also, but I only want to watch it in IMAX. And then I'm also
Yeah,
going to try
yeah.
and make sure nobody else is in the theater. Like it's going to be like a Saturday morning
Yeah,
or something.
because there's like in the local cinemas here, there's like 12 showings a day, and there's like nowhere near that many people who watch movies. You know, so like half the time you go, you get the full cinema to yourself, and it's brilliant because it means you can talk.
Yeah.
Which is the one where they like stole the safe?
5.
I lost interest after 6.
Really? You don't
Which
like
one's 6?
you don't
See,
like
I don't.
cars flying around? You don't like that? Come on.
It's just so excessive. It's
I'm
brilliant.
not a huge movie person.
Oh,
if I'm
Fast 6 is the one with the tank. And then 5 is the one with the
I like yeah.
safe.
Those are all the more ridiculous.
I mean,
that
they're
human
good
being
and
can
stuff,
survive a
but
car
like,
crash.
to me, I prefer. I'm much more of an comedy person than action.
Yeah. They're just like, if you need that action fix, they're the go. They should be the go-to.
Although Marvel's
Right.
pretty good.
Yeah.
Different
But
type.
Marvel are like 2.5 hours. Well, fast.
I will only watch movies. I will only go to the movies to watch an IMAX movie. Other than that, just someday in the future in my life, I'll catch up to it. That's my reasoning. So I miss a lot of comedies. I really do. Unless it's binging on Friends. I'll watch.
See, I'm a big TV person. I like TV
Yeah.
a lot.
Yeah.
I prefer TV over movies.
I literally just started watching Friends again.
Did you see the reunion show? It was so good.
Yeah, that was so good.
So good. Like not just, I just have to mention like how it impacts random.
Oh my god, I've never seen that
Ooh,
thing of
Steve Nash. Ouch.
Steve Nash.
Nash.
Oh my
Yeah.
god, that's nasty. That's like a Rocky movie.
The book.
Oh,
I just love how Beverly's confused about how is it a foul? It's like, come on.
yeah.
How is it not a foul?
He didn't see his own replay. That's the problem.
The ref should scream back and be like, how is it not? Oh, finally hitting threes.
3 minutes
Who was
to go.
that?
Mikal Bridges.
I like Mikal Bridges.
He's just gonna get better and better.
He was the same draft class as like Donovan Mitchell and them, right?
Wow, of course this is in Paul George sneaks his three. Okay, this game.
But I mean, Phoenix is still going to be a problem for us next year. Huge problem. Like the Clippers are getting older.
Yeah.
Their window is
Wow,
Nice,
DeAndre. That was massive.
Yeah, Lou going big now. Usually he goes small.
But wait, I think is Marcus Morris out?
Yeah.
Okay, that's why.
It's under 2 minutes. You can review that shit.
Yep. Yep.
God.
What an idiotic turnover, if so. by the
Yeah.
Blazers. Like, what are you even doing? Can we replay
Why
that,
are you
please?
rushing?
Well,
He just threw it behind Zubac's back.
let me see. Yeah.
They gotta show you. There we go.
Oh, it just hits
Oh,
his
it's on
leg.
Zubac.
Wow. Wow.
Yep.
Well,
Like, what
Zubac
is-
looked like he was looking and just turned his head at the last
Like-
second.
Like Aiton just like tapped it off Zubac's leg.
That's a high IQ play right there.
Yeah.
Well, if I'm being nice, I'm saying PG usually is used to Marcus Morris being there. So maybe that's why.
Or we could be
Oh,
funny and
the
say it's
ball
the
already
return
go
of player P.
Because he was like looking as like he threw the ball, but then looked away as it got to him.
That's
Yeah.
the last guy you want to throw the ball into.
How would you not know?
Did the ball hit the line before it hit Zubac?
Not from any angle I saw.
Yeah, neither.
No more comments. Everybody's gone.
Everyone got tired.
The stream's going on for like how many hours now?
I'm definitely going to Starbucks after this. I need a What was
Who did
the
they
initial
call it
rule?
off?
It's so clearly off Zubac.
What did they call on the floor?
I don't
Well,
know
the
that
question is
clearly.
if it hit that, if it hit the line.
What was the original
First.
call?
I don't know. That's what I'm wondering.
Oh well, I'm glad this isn't
Oh, that's a better look.
a Warriors game. Oh, Aiton, and then maybe Zubac. But that's the
That's
first
out on
time,
Aiton.
first time I've seen Aiton touch
That
it.
left hand.
Yeah.
You
Well,
don't
no,
see
I
the.
think
Oh, and
that's,
then it hits the line.
Yeah, it goes
that's
right
the
hand,
thing,
left hand
is it hit
line,
the
and
line
then
and
leg.
then he threw it
Out
off
on Aiton.
Zubac.
Out on Aiton, I think.
Yeah, because then he hit it off Zubac.
None of the other camera angles showed like you could see the deflection from the left hand.
Well, no, it wasn't that. Because
Oh, boy.
the thing is, after it hit the baseline, he hit it off Zubac. So
Yeah,
it
yeah.
looked like it went off Zubac, but you just couldn't see from those angles that it hit the line first.
Wow, Kennard. 10 points in the fourth.
Even though he's had an off shooting night, you still should go to D-Book here.
Yep.
Yeah, that's set.
Oh, that's just him being a baby. Why did they stop
What?
play? I'm confused.
What? How do you
He wasn't hit in the face.
call is a call, right?
Oh, what a flop.
What?
There's a part of him that got in the face, but not that much.
What the hell?
He throws his head back like 3 seconds after he gets hit. Wait for it.
No.
Nah, but when you're playing, sometimes I mean, there is an element.
Oh, I think they're
they-
reviewing that for a flagrant.
For sure, there's an element of him, embellishing it, but when you're playing, it's you just react. I don't know that. I don't think it's 100% acting there.
It would have been one thing if his head went back right away, but he like fully takes another step.
Yeah, but that's slow motion.
Like
that.
the
I don't
normal
know.
movement.
If
The normal
he didn't
movement.
have the reputation that he does for flopping, it'd be one thing. But he has a reputation for flopping.
You can tell it's embellishment by the direction that he's falling. He falls backwards, which is completely like counter like momentum. Counters like his normal momentum. However, he was hit in the face, albeit not very hard. He could have just fallen down in the direction towards the hoop. And that would be just a normal, like that would be a foul.
Offensive foul. I mean,
I don't understand why they stopped play though.
Because he made a call.
Yeah, he called it an offensive foul.
I would have preferred.
I never saw them draw.
I never heard the whistle or anything.
Yeah, I never saw the whistle.
You know what? Under the letter of the law, that was actually the right call. Because Booker
but
wasn't
the law is often wrong.
In fact, it was like barely trying to get an advantage, but he actually did make contact. And I don't know.
He only started selling the foul after.
No, I would have preferred no call, but whatever.
Yeah, he started selling the foul after he was beat, and that's the difference.
Wow, 5th on Booker.
What? But okay. That's so smart from Paul George there.
That's what Steph has to do.
Yeah.
But he might be too small to execute that. Kind of need to have
he just hooks Devin Booker, and then Devin Booker's the passenger.
Yeah, you see Harden do that all the time. Even KD, I think. Once you feel that, then you do that. It's an elite move. Maybe it's not good for the game, but
I definitely don't think it is, because I feel like it should be based on the initiative instead of the result.
That one is so hard to police, though, even if you want to change that.
It's like something that can only be done through replays, but like we're not going to stop every play. We're not going to review every single foul.
Yep.
Just like that, Clippers are still right back in it. They don't go away.
How do they stay in these games? That's what I actually like admire of the Clippers.
I guess it's
just
they're doing the bare minimum to be in the game. Wow. That fast break.
My goodness. What a move.
Yeah. He decelerated so much there to get that layup.
Here's where Phoenix has to be careful, sort of a younger team. Like, are you deer in the headlights, or do you rise to this occasion?
Wow, that photo of Paul George making that layup, that's gonna be on posters.
I wouldn't go that far.
Yeah, I think it would, especially if it wins the game.
Pretty incredible move in terms of it being
just the mental fortitude.
No, and I don't deny that it was a great play or anything. I don't know who would buy a poster of that.
Paul George fan.
Posters. Actually, one of the last posters I had is let's see. think I had a Tim Hardaway one once.
Because now Clippers are up 1. So they're in the driving seat now.
I mean, how much time? 20 seconds?
30 seconds.
30? Technically, they'll get the ball back.
You think Suns are going to go 2 for 1?
It'd be smart to.
Phoenix go for the 2 for 1? Nah,
Smart too.
Too risky.
Well, they're doing
Oh,
it.
there we go. Devin Booker.
Bones Booker.
Wow.
Look at that hang time. Jeez.
Yeah, it reminds me of a certain someone.
Big balls Booker.
Okay, never
Over
mind.
Pat
That's the
Beverly.
poster. That's the poster.
That's the poster.
That's the poster.
Over Pat Bev.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you put Paul
Draymond
George
just
on him right
tweeted,
now?
Picture perfect.
You know, that's pretty good defense from Pat Bev being as short as he is, but having
Yeah.
long reach, but still put PG on him. I don't get that. What does PG
Did you
have?
hear what I said that Draymond tweeted?
What do you say?
Picture perfect.
Ooh.
Yep.
About that Booker shot.
It's just so impressive when players can hang in the air and then release it like late, because it's like your shot rhythm is completely off in that situation.
Now, here's the question. If you're the Clippers, do you bleed the clock a little bit?
I think they're gonna let PG run the clock down.
I mean, they can't run it completely out.
No, they won't, but they'll try run it to like they'll probably initiate the
All
offense with like 8 seconds left or something.
Here's how I look at it. They got Ayton, therefore just shoot the last shot. That's my hot take. I say
If
shoot it at the
anything,
buzzer.
I feel like you go for it early on, because then if you miss,
Oh wait,
they
okay,
hit the
there's
free throws,
27.
and it's still
Never
a
mind.
3-point game.
Wow, Paul
Never mind
George.
what I said. We'll go. All right, you can't spoil it for me. I'm about 3 seconds behind you. Oh boy. 9.2. 19 people watching.
They're reviewing who it's off of.
Yeah. Patrick Beverly like did the thingy hand signal, and they're like, okay, I guess they will.
Ooh. Should be Suns ball.
Yeah.
There is not going to be enough.
So you could argue that it's actually last of Booker, but like,
Man,
that's not how it works.
Reach. I didn't know he had that kind of reach.
I don't know if that's clear and decisive enough.
Yep.
Are you sure you want Pat Bev on Booker here? You don't want a little hype? I mean, Tyronn Lue he did the right thing there. But let's say, assuming it's Suns ball, you don't want PG.
But I don't think we can tell if his hand's on the ball or if it's
just
over.
close. Yeah.
Oh no, that extra slow replay is kind of like.
But the thing is, when
No,
you
but that's
watch,
what I'm saying. You can't.
yeah,
tell if
that's
it's
the
hovering
problem. That's
over
the problem
ball
with
or
the
if it's
extra.
actually on it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Because you could be having your hand could be a centimeter off the ball, and on the camera it looks like you're holding it.
Flip a coin. I don't know. we'll learn more about the NBA right here. So if this is out on Booker, then all subsequent ones from this point on will have to be ruled this way.
Yikes, that's a lot of reviews.
And if I'm playing basketball and some guy did that to me, it's like, nah, he knocked it out. Should be my ball.
Did they just call it off of? I didn't see. Or I didn't hear.
The Clippers ball, I think. Yep. Wow. Yeah. So
but that you can't tell if it's on top or not.
From now on, any swipe like that that's from under.
That's a BS call.
Now we know.
Yep.
Well, I don't think it's BS. I think it's.
I do. You can't.
I think it sets a bad precedent.
Yeah, and you can't tell if it's hovering or not. If you call it originally out.
I don't know. So you freeze the frame, and he's
but the thing is, there could be a centimeter between him and the ball, and you
also
can't
like
see
based
it.
on camera angles. If your hand is covering the ball away, you can't see if I'm actually holding my hand. Like you can't. But then like unless they add sensors to the ball or whatever, like without
and if
that,
they call it off,
I feel like officiating like that.
I feel like you need to stick with that call.
Yeah, I just think it's bad precedent because it means that every single reach in that swipes upwards is
pretty much a precedent now.
Has to be reviewed.
Yeah. So we'll come back to this, and that's why you go out and get long-armed athletes from this point forward. Unless the Board of Governors gets together and says, okay, we need to really make a final interpretation of this rule. And then that doesn't set a precedent, but otherwise sets precedent.
Yeah, because I feel like this is one of those circumstances where technology is used to make calls that the human eye can't see, which brings into a lot of question about everything the NBA has done in history, because it means that every single play is subject to human error. It's like the whole soccer and offside rules. Like the camera technology will show that he's offside by 3 inches or something, but in real life, no one would ever call that, and that just detracts from the game.
Which is kind of like the other thing with American football is the whole
the hell is he yelling?
What we used to think as touchdowns or no longer, they gotta whatever. It's just so frustrating.
Because it means that you sit there waiting for 5 minutes before you actually know when to celebrate or not.
It's the whole bar rule. If everyone in the bar agrees that was a touchdown, then it should be.
Yeah.
Right? And then it changes. Man, PG missed. Okay, what do we got here? Leppy. NBA reffing is inconsistent. Yeah, I know, right?
I'm sorry. I know how this goes. And just
let me guess. You're happy. What can I deduce from that?
There's no way he misses both. No way.
Oh, I don't know.
Does he?
Are you with me?
Why would you be celebrating?
Did you delay yourself?
Oh my God, he missed both.
Oh, okay.
How? Oh, George!
I'm sure Rebecca was watching Twitter or something.
No, I was watching the play-by-play on ESPN.
Oh. He's back. Playoff P is back.
No, don't say that. He's the one that put them in this position.
I know, but still, it's just
I
funny.
respect Paul George a
Still
lot.
have one,
He's much better than people have been giving him credit for.
I feel Playoff P is just should be and limited to a joke only.
Oh my God, he missed both.
Ball don't lie.
Right?
Yeah, I know, huh? Basketball gods.
That's what I always say when there's a questionable call.
So
and the player misses a free throw, ball don't lie. It don't.
It's just that in that instance, it means that like players should be playing on how they are officiated, and in that situation, if anyone reaches in, your first reaction won't be to like would be the second someone reaches, you should be like running away from the ball so that you don't get called for the out of bounds play, and that is not how basketball should be played.
Hey, buddy.
All right, don't give it away here. I'll show you how slow my stream is. And we are inbounding now.
He wasn't hit?
He was hit after.
0.8. I am still shocked that someone not named Devin Booker shot that.
Yeah, me too.
Oh my God.
They're really going to review this again?
All
it's going to do is now give Phoenix.
I'm still rooting for the Clippers, if only to elongate the series.
They're really going to. You're just giving Phoenix a timeout if they don't change the call.
Who did they give the ball to right here? The first
Phoenix.
time. Okay. Yeah, they kind of have to review it. So my thing with the review thing is, why not just have a guy already watch all the replays? You could hire an intern for free to do that. Just watch every single play, and then by the time you need to review it, he's already 80% of the way done.
No, but it means that it's like they want the refs to be making that decision. So unless you have like a fourth official watching every single replay, which actually might not be a bad idea. And he can just flag everything that he says like that is questionable.
Why do we have to make the guys who are reffing the game make the decision? You're just looking at a TV screen.
It's because the review should be used to confirm plays where they're not sure. But now they've just made it to confirm every single play because they never are sure. And it just makes everything so slow.
To make it faster, just have a guy totally dedicated in Secaucus.
Yeah.
Just looking at replays all day. Then this takes half as long. Plus the refs are probably tired.
Would they call it?
Suns with 0.9 on the floor.
Now you just give Suns a timeout.
Yep.
Right.
Let's see. Monty Williams has good ATOs as well, so.
Oh boy. Watch out for Ayton. Oh boy.
Oh, come on.
Man, let's go.
No way! No way! No way! He did it! Wow!
That's why you don't do that. You gave him a timeout.
I mean, whoa, Boogie, what are you doing, Boogie?
Boogie. Cousins?
He pushed Booker.
Of course he did.
What are you doing? Like, anyways.
Oh yeah, that's a clean basket.
What a pick by Book.
What an ATO.
I'm telling you, they gave him a timeout. I said it. I said, why do you review that? You're giving them an extra timeout. And look what they did. Look what they did out of that timeout.
I mean, I feel so bad because that's devastating.
What a way to go. What a way to win.
That is
PG has to make his
devastating.
free throws.
Devin Booker's screen on Zubac. Just
Can Clippers recover from this? Jesus.
Could technically argue it was.
Yeah, right there. Monty outcoached Lou.
Yep.
You stick Zubac under the basket. If Ayton wants to shoot a fade away to win.
Yeah, exactly. You let them take a jump shot. Like,
oh man.
On a replay like that, can you say offensive goaltending?
I don't know what the rule is, right? Yeah, I don't know.
I don't think you can change that.
no, you can't because it wasn't called.
Okay, then what are we reviewing?
Oh,
I think they're reviewing to see time.
Stop at 0.3. There should still be 0.3 first of all.
Yeah, exactly. I think they're reviewing for time.
Maybe 0.4 even. But that's a spectacular play.
No, but well, either way, the Clippers don't have a timeout.
Yeah, well,
then they need to heave it.
Hail Mary, yeah. You need 0.3 to take a jump shot, right?
What
So
a play.
maybe they do the Steven Adams full court
I mean,
alley-oop.
they get what they get. You miss free throws, you miss free throws, man.
Yeah. We'll never be here if you didn't miss those free throws.
I think that's like the third dunk Aiden had on Zubox in just this game.
Monty Williams, wow, bravo.
I said so.
Well,
I said don't give him a timeout.
Back in the day, that wouldn't be reviewed. It'd be over, and it would just be such a much more fun atmosphere in Phoenix than everybody waiting around. So that part of all of this sucks. It would just be raucous, and it should be.
The NBA now is best to watch when you're watching replays because they just cut out all this extra time.
That's the bad part about the new era. In the old days, it's done. We're over. You won. It's like legendary.
Like it's over. Like
Phoenix is rocking.
Yeah. Before it was just it's over, and that's it.
Yeah.
Now it's over. Question mark.
Yeah. Now we gotta wait. We still got to do an inbound. It's a good win, but it's not like euphoria anymore. It was for like 30 seconds, but then,
At the same time, imagine being on the team who's losing in this situation. You just have to wait, waiting for a decision on your fate.
Oh man, now they're talking about the substitution. JVG is right, but oh man, I think all this waiting, it actually hurts Phoenix. Like, you want them to be stunned going into game 3. I mean, they are, I guess. I don't know. It's weird.
This is like the one game.
You can see Monty Williams is literally standing on the court giving directions out while the rest try to sort out their stuff. Like, it's free coaching time, I guess.
So are Zubats and Boogie in there?
No, they can't sub. So
yeah.
And I don't see why you'd want them in there.
They're supposed to be in. A lot of time being wasted here.
A lot of time for coaching.
This is nuts.
But you can see Monty Williams is coaching, whereas Tyronn Lue is just pointing to players who should be where, and that's the difference on the ATOs. Yeah, but Tyronn Lue will make adjustments after this game, so I don't think it's over. The season series.
If I'm Lou, I make the ref bring Boogie and Zubats back. I would have done the same thing. Like, if you
isn't Tyronn Lue's been down 0-2 in both of his last 2 series.
Yeah, you can't count them out, but the Suns should be getting CP3 back.
Yeah.
And D Book had
actually no. Having players out means that you can't really make the same adjustments you would if all the players were in and you lost 2 games.
Plus, there's the fact that Devin Booker had arguably his worst game of the playoffs.
Yep.
Why is
That's not gonna
Beverly
happen.
should be taking the ball out?
And now he's going to keep it.
What's going on here?
Why do they have it on the sideline?
Wow, they gave him 0.7. I would have thought.
Yeah, why is it on the sideline?
0.5 at the most.
They didn't have a timeout. Why is it on the side?
Or maybe it's not. They
Not.
ball's still being reviewed.
Foster's still talking.
Jesus, Scott Foster, man.
What is he doing? Double checking the rosters? What's going on?
I just don't like
The
them.
longest 0.7 in the history of the NBA.
.7 seconds has taken him 10 minutes.
I think he is checking the rosters. Yeah, come on, Lou. Drop a play. ASAP.
And this
You know
shouldn't
what?
be out of on the side. This should be out at the back of the basket.
I think people can go take naps now.
It will be. It's just Foster doing all this stuff. But that'd be cool if Boogie hit the winner right here.
Would it?
ESPN doesn't even know what to show anymore. They just showed us.
Okay, there we go.
Next time you let Ayton shoot from 10 feet.
They're not letting them sub because those guys were in the game. And that wasn't a timeout, so they can't sub off it.
So are they going for the alley-oop or are they going to go for
Kennard. Give it to
Court.
Kennard.
Is Kennard in the game?
Who's that in the red? Oh, that's Zubats. Never mind. He's not in the game. There's Kennard way down there.
That's not the right play.
God.
You don't have enough time to catch and turn around and shoot. That's a horrible play.
Longest
What?
0.7 in the history of the game. Oh, we're finally done. We still have 27 people watching.
Hey, they're still celebrating though.
All right. I'm ready to go. What about you guys?
I'm ready for bed.
Yeah. What time is it in Australia, Jeffrey?
2 p.m.
Oh. So we'll be back. Maybe we'll come back for ECF or ACF game.
Just got to cut him quickly with the last 90 seconds of the game took 33 minutes. There were 5 reviews
Wow.
and there were only 5 field goals.
What a play by Monty Williams.
Yep.
All right.
All
All
right,
right, L's fun, guys.
Thank you.
let's go.
Let's go, Warriors.
Let's go, Warriors.